time, we're ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Happy Derby Day 2021. Bram, I know you love that music. I didn't see you dancing.
I'm pretty happy about it. It came as a surprise. You know, I'm staring at a bunch of screens here, Dan, because we've got the 10th race about to go off. And I love the fat man. So I'm just all locked in, ready to go. And even for you today, Dan, for those who watch us regularly, I don't drink very much anymore. But today, just for you, Dan, I'm going to finish this bottle of rye. Maryland style, player.
I love it. A couple weeks before the Preakness. We're headed that way. Cheers to everyone out there. Grab your favorite drink. Jump in the comments. Tell us who you like. As Bram said, the Churchill Downs Stakes, race 10. Horse is going into the gate right now. Bram likes the Fat Man. I like Mind Control, the 2-horse. Yep. And I also like a little bit Sha Shake Me Up, the 7-horse. My price here, though, is going to be the 10 Bango. Huge price. I think about 20-1 right now. Stick with us. We're going to take you all the way through the Kentucky Derby. You've got the Turf Classic coming up next, and then the Kentucky Derby. I'll also tell you we've got another host here joining us live from Churchill Downs. Let's see. I think I see her. Ooh, that's a nice background. Let's see. There she is.
Hi. I'm here at the Derby. And I'm going to have to switch onto my laptop, I think. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
We hear you.
I might have to. Okay, so right now I'm on the roof of the balcony of the museum. So you see Barbara behind me?
There we go.
Yeah, so I've been having an amazing time. I was hosting a Q&A event with Hall of Famer Gary Stevens. So
very nice. Gary Stevens now.
Oh, name dropping already, Ren. It took 23 seconds to name drop. Great, thanks. I'm in my basement again. Thanks for name dropping.
Computer here. Let's see here.
Gary mentoring and the jockey agent of Drayden Van Dyke, who's going to be riding Like the King, long shot in the Derby. Ren, as we mentioned, right now as we're talking, the Churchill Downs Stakes is going off. Did you like anyone in this race? You get a chance to even look at this race?
Which one is this one?
It's the 7 furlong sprint. Well, it's almost over. So now it's kind of past time.
I will say this. If you guys had listened to the show I did with Gino, yeah, my pick was the one in the 9th, but my second pick won, the Du Jour.
Yeah, Du Jour did win. Huge race. Left Du Jour with my tickets. Dude, Bram, Bango is kicking clear. Come on, Bango. Come on, Bango. Come on, Bango. Keep going, Bango. Come on, hang on. Oh, my God, he's almost there. Bango, hang on. Oh, my God, he's Western Whitmore. Not Whitmore today. Not Whitmore today. Oh, my God, another horse to the inside, flying back. Oh, my, what a race.
I didn't see it.
Flagstaff got up between horses. That was
Flagstaff?
a clean finish.
That's the one I had on top, Dan. I love the Fat Man in my Exacta, but I had Flagstaff on top. So who's the player early today?
Wow, listen to the pipes.
That was a insane finish. I don't have anything. The complexion of the race changed completely in the last 50 yards. It looked like Bango was
7 across the line.
Yeah, Bango was 5 lengths clear, though, about 100 yards from home, and then just stopped running. And then you had 3 horses closing on him. You had Flagstaff, you had Whitmore, who, oh my God, almost got up. And then you had Lexitonian at 45-1, who I think finished third.
Well, who came in second, Dan?
It was either Lexitonian or Whitmore. We shall see.
Well, I'm off to a hot start then. I had Flagstaff across the board, and I did an Exacta box with the Fat Man. But I will take my win and get ready to get it rolling today. And I'll just tell you early here, I know who's going to win the Derby. I've landed on it, Dan. I'm ready.
Uh-oh.
I'm ready.
Right. Here it comes.
Give it to us. What is it? You want to tell us?
Rock your world. Rock your world. Rock your world.
Not crazy.
Nope, not crazy. Ooh, the Fat Man came up across the line too. Ooh, that's close to hitting it big, Danny T. Very close. Oh, very close.
We have, so Ren, you're at Churchill Downs. We have a number of guests that are going to be joining us live from different parts of the track. one of our first guests who we're waiting for is Terry Finley, who won the Kentucky Derby
Oh, yay.
in 2017. They're back in partnership. They own Obesos. We have a video going back to 2017 when Terry Finley won the Kentucky Derby. We had a camera on him the entire race. This is one of the coolest videos I think we've ever done and that I've ever seen. Let's take a look at that video.
They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
He broke.
It was a great start for Always Dreaming, and something went
Are we
wrong with
taking a look?
Thunder Snow right away. Thunder Snow is having trouble in the early stages here.
They gotta get him
going
off.
out to the lead with State of Honor. And then on the outside is Battle of Midway. Out toward the inside comes Fast and Accurate. Will be fourth early on.
He's sitting pretty.
For the first time.
He's
And it's
sitting
Irish
pretty.
Warriors
Oh, he's
outside
sitting. They're
the
gonna have a tough time with him.
And they're followed by Gormley on the outside. Practical Joke. And then to the outside it is Pence. Or rather Patch to the outside and saving all the ground there is.
No, he's all right. He got off the track.
For the rail and racing about
It's
8
the
lengths
Dubai
off the
horse.
lead. Then back to Gerben and McCracken. Classic Empire.
Get
is behind
outside,
them.
Johnny.
Then it's Gunnavera. Tap
Get outside, Johnny.
Looking at Lee is next. And then comes J-Boy's Echo, Sonneteer. And
Oh
on the
my
inside
God.
comes
We're gonna
Pence.
win the Kentucky
And
Derby.
having pulled up out of the race here was the colt from Dubai. The first half mile was in 46 and 2/5 seconds. So they move up the backstretch here in the Kentucky Derby. And the leader is State of Honor, pressed by Always Dreaming on the outside, who's just a neck back. Irish War Cry getting a 4-wide trip up the backstretch. Battle of Midway is right there too. Fast and Accurate starts to backpedal out of it. And then comes Gormley to the outside. Victor Espinosa has about 5 lengths off the lead as they make their way around the far turn. Always Dreaming and John Velasquez are in front. State of Honor is dropped back. Irish War Cry moves up on the outside. And it's taken second. Battle of Midway is midway between those two runners. And then it's a 3-lane gap for Gormley. But Kraken has been unleashed on the far outside. And Classic Empire is beginning his charge. And he's coming wide as they turn for home. Always Dreaming in front. Always Dreaming in front. Looking at Lee, taking a big step away. Second.
Well, that feels like Kentucky Derby.
That's awesome.
At Churchill Downs right now, I want to bring in Isabella Leslie. Isabella, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. I'm on the track right now. I don't know if you can see the crowd behind me.
We do. Awesome
I have
job.
my heels in hand, and I'm heading over to the backside to get ready for the Derby walkover right now.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good crowd, good group of people, a lot of fun going on. So it's been great.
We should give people a little context. Isabella is she basically runs all of our social media. So whatever you see on our social channels, that's Isabella. She's our correspondent on site this week at the Derby, with people with that same dream that you just saw come true there for Terry Finley a couple years ago. And she also happens to work for a certain trainer named Mark Cassie, who has horses in the Derby. Let's talk about them first. Helium and Soup and Sandwich. Isabella, give us the inside scoop.
Yes, so we have Helium and Soup and Sandwich. They're totally different horses when it comes to training, the way they move, maturity-wise, but I love them both equally, and I can't pick a favorite. So we'll see what happens. We're super excited. Just to be a part of the Derby in general is a great experience, and not a lot of people get to enjoy it, so I'm super blessed.
Hey, Isabella, can you tell me something about Helium, who won the Tampa Bay Derby and then didn't race again? Can you kind of take us through the decision making to go from there to the Kentucky Derby?
You know, I wasn't part of that decision. That was Mark and the owners that agreed upon that, but he's training great. He couldn't be training better. It's just something, he had some time off in between his races in Woodbine, and he's on his A game for sure. He loves his job. And he's like a dog. We call him a little puppy. He loves to stick his tongue out and play around with you. So super cool horse, really chill personality.
Isabella, you've been talking to a lot of different personalities around the track, jockeys, owners, friends of owners, trainers, relatives of trainers. Tell us about some of the people you've spoken to the last few days and what they're telling you about the horse.
Yeah, so we talked to Kendrick Carmouche this morning. It's his first time in the Derby, so he's really excited to be riding in that. He was talking about how it's always been a dream of his, so to be able to be a part in it is great. Corey Lanery is riding today, and he mentioned that it's his father's birthday, so if he won today, that would be super cool. Also spoke with Mike Smith. He'll be on Midnight Bourbon. He told us a little bit about his favorite types of bourbon, how he likes to drink it. He's never been on the horse before, but that's kind of common for jockeys. They're really skilled in what they do. So a lot of good people we've talked to. We spoke with Keith Asmussen, who actually rode super stock for his father in Lone Star and won a stake race on him. And they're part owners in him. So to be able to kind of have that inside scoop and realize that what it takes to be a part of it has been really cool.
All right, tell me a little bit about Soup and Sandwich. That's a tough post, 19. How do they overcome it?
Well, I don't know what he's going to do. If he's going to head to the lead, I think that'll be what he does, but I'm not sure. He's kind of a different horse than Helium in that mentally he's still maturing, but he's totally running on raw talent. He's a really cool horse to be around. He's not as cuddly as Helium is for sure. He's by into mischief, but he's out of a Tappet mare, and he kind of has that Tappet side to him. But I love him. I've been blessed to be able to pony him every morning, so that's been really cool, like getting to know him. And just being around horses of that caliber is really great.
You know, I don't feel like there's a real favorite here. I mean, I know there's a couple that, you know, Essential Quality clearly is getting a lot of support and really should, undefeated. Like, who do you guys look at as the horse to beat in the Derby today?
We have not had that conversation, to be honest, in the barn. Obviously, I think Essential Quality.
Isabella's so quiet. She's not giving away any secrets.
Come on, Isabella, give it up.
Essential Quality, obviously, I think will go off as the favorite, especially with Mattress Mac pouring all that money into him. But I personally, a horse that's not in our barn that I like a lot is Hot Rod Charlie.
Yes.
I was just doing a Q&A with Gary Stevens.
Okay.
And so it's kind of cool because he has a connection to a lot of horses. He's got a connection to like the King because he is Drayden Van Dyke's agent. He's got the connection there to Hot Rod Charlie because he rode Oxbow. He's got the connection to Helium because he rode Thunder Gulch, who's the damn sire of Helium.
Yes.
Well, Isabella, we know you're doing the walk now to the back stretch. We're going to check back in with you in a little bit as you're back there getting ready for the walk over. So go do your thing, and we're going to check back in with you in a little bit.
Sounds great. I'll see you in a little while.
All right.
Bye.
Isabella Leslie there, ABR's correspondent on site, and just in time for our next guest, Mike Samich, Soma Bombs. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? How's everybody's Kentucky Derby Day here?
Brent's having the best one so far. He's the one actually cashing tickets right now.
It's a challenging today, man. These huge fields, you got these crazy finishes, a ton of photos. It's been one of those days where you're just so close yet so far at the same time.
Who's the bomb in the Derby? Who do you like?
You want a bomb or you want the top pick?
I know I want a bomb because I think a bomb is hitting the board today. I mean, I think it's unavoidable that a bomb is hitting the board today.
Sure. I've been shamelessly in love with Sainthood since the last time he ran in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. I mean, when I'm looking for a Derby horse, I'm looking for a mature horse that shows a little bit of professionalism that's beyond their years. And if you go back and you watch that Jeff Ruby Stakes, Sainthood gets absolutely shut off. I think he wins that race if he doesn't get shut off. And the fact that the horse pretty much stops and then is able to re-rally and shows that much talent, I think that means the buyer is lower than what you actually expect. If he wins that race, there's no way you're getting 50-1. I think the horse has a chance to take a step forward. If you have the pace set up front for him, I think he can run into it. And he's sneaky fast early. I mean, when I looked at a couple pace theses and he's sitting there in the top 10, he's not going to be like 18th, 19th. He's got a decent draw to get a good trip. I think Sainthood at 50-1 is a horse that could definitely hit the board. I have him to close out a couple pick fours. So if we're lucky enough to get to that point, hopefully we can have a little bit of fun with him. But he's the bomb. I think has a shot to hit the board.
Yeah.
Mike, as you're looking at the track today, you notice anything on the main track in terms of how it's playing that might impact the way you approach the Derby, or you think it's playing just pretty fair?
I think that it really depends on the distance. So if you looked at the two-turn races yesterday, the two-turn races today, you got to be close to the lead if you're on the dirt. And so I think that means the winner is really going to come from the top 5 or 6 horses here in the Derby. The 7 furlong races have been absolutely falling apart. You saw that again there, where the speed just kind of backed up after going 21 and change there. The mile race, that was unreal performance there by both the horses in the Pate Mile. I mean, I'm just astonished they both were able to go 21 and change, be able to get the job done at the end. But yeah, in the two-turn races, I think you want to be top 5 or top 6 horses going around that first turn. I'm on Medina Spirit today. I don't really want to be on Medina Spirit, but I kind of feel like it sets up really well for him. He's run 4 of the fastest 8 half miles in any of the preps, so I expect that horse to be up front. If you go back, you watch the Santa Anita Derby, he was intentionally rated in that race. And at that time, Concertor was still on the Derby Tour. And you feel like Baffert knew Concertor was faster. So he wanted Concertor to go, and he wanted Medina Spirit to learn to rate. You don't have Concertor around anymore. Johnny V is going to send, and he's got the inside of all the speed. So I think he's going to make the rail on that first turn. And if Johnny V gets a breather again, watch out.
Yeah, spoiler. I'm on Medina Spirit too. Bram is not. Ren, where do you stand on Medina Spirit?
I think this is a horse who's been panned too easily. I think, he had some legitimate excuses, and I think getting out of that really deep track at Santa Anita and getting on a nice surface here that may play a bit easier for him to pick up those hooves and re-extend. I mean, that's basically what Bob's been talking about. I saw an interview that he had done with Rosina Pravnik, basically saying that. I think he could factor.
Well, you mentioned as a long shot sainthood. Isabella said that she caught up with Corey Lannery. Let's take a look at what Corey said. Yeah, go for it, Ren.
I'll be right back.
Corey said about sainthood.
Hi, I'm Corey Lannery. I'm riding Sainthood in the Kentucky Derby today. For me to win the Derby today would be an awesome moment in my life and career. As a kid, I've grown up always wanting to just ride in the Kentucky Derby, and to get the opportunity finally to ride in it and have a chance to win it, it's just an awesome feeling. And a special moment would be to win it on my dad's birthday. Today's his birthday, May 1st, so it would be just a great honor.
I think him getting that mount, there's something interesting there. I mean, he kills it on that track, and I don't know that necessarily matters with the class of jockeys that he's going up against and the size of the field. But I don't know. It's somewhat of an advantage. I'm with Mike here on this. He's in all of my exotic bets. I really think he's got a legitimate shot. I think he and a couple of others are we kind of don't know what the ceiling are, and therefore you cannot toss them. He did not get a bad post. So I like him a lot. And I don't know. I've been feeling all week that this could be a crazy board, like a 20-1, 30-1, 20-1 board. I don't think that's really out of the realm of possibility. If the two real favorites, Essential Quality or Rock Your World, don't hit the board, I think we are going to get something like that. And some of the other ones that are, do you like Note Agenda? I do, but I hate his position. It's kind of rendered him in a spot where I'm not so sure I like him as much anymore. And I think the odds are Tote Board's reflecting that now. I think Sainthood could be popping up there pretty high, and this could be an all-time board. I cannot wait to see what this thing shakes out to be.
I'm glad that you're the one that's cashing tickets today, Bram, because we're on the same wavelengths here. I liked Note Agenda going into the post draw. I was pretty disheartened after he drew the one post. I heard John White talking about this. If you like the horse going in, you can't really let the post talk you off the horse. So I ended up including the horse and some of the underneath stuff. And we've got Irad on the horse, which is probably your best jockey in the world right now. If someone can make a trip from that post, it's Irad Ortiz that can do it. So I agree with you on there. And I'm like, if Rock Your World wins, I don't. So I'm against Rock Your World, and I'm hoping we can keep him off the board, because I think that's the most vulnerable of all the horses that are shorter prices right now.
That's the one. That's where we diverge. I like him the best of all of these coming in. I like him the best. I mean, I'm more inclined to go, let's take a stab at this thing, because I think it's an all-time payout that we're about to witness, and get lucky, throw a dart, and be right about the bombs that are about to hit. That said, if I am going to go with someone with a low price right now, for me, it is Rock Your World.
I don't. I think the thing is it's funny to be picking Medina Spirit and then to be against Rock Your World, because that seems a little bit odd when you're going A and B, especially with how Rock Your World was able to beat Medina Spirit last time out. But just watching that race back, I felt like Rock Your World had everything go his own way. He was able to get the perfect trip, able to secure the rail. The rail on the dirt won every race at Santa Anita that day, so it was a golden rail in that sense. So you had just these things that kind of all built up against Medina Spirit and for Rock Your World. I also am just scared that Rosario is going to pull a Rosario, and he's just going to kind of pull him back a little bit. And this horse is going to end up sitting mid-pack instead of where he should be, which is right outside of Medina Spirit. And all of a sudden, you're going to have this trip, and Rock Your World's going to get dirt kicked in his back in his face for the first time. It's just a lot of question marks for 5-1 for me.
Yeah, my opinion is probably a combination of both of yours, which is that I think Medina Spirit is going to sit off. Rock Your World's going to sit off, but I don't think that means that he's absolutely going to just finish nowhere. I think he still factors somehow. We were talking about long shots, and Bram has been telling me for weeks, this is going to be all bombs everywhere. So what we did was we went back and we put together a little sizzle of some of the more memorable long shots in recent Kentucky Derby history. Let's take a look at that.
Here comes a fleet. Alex, as he's moving between horses. GIACOMO, don't get madly, charge on the far outside, coming down to the finish, closing argument, short lead, GIACOMO, a fleet edge, it's a 3-horse photo finish, and on the wire, it's GIACOMO who has won. Musket Man is coming hard down the center of the track, and Papa Clem's right there too, down toward the inside, coming on through. That is Mind That Bird now is coming on to take the lead as they come down to the finish, and a spectacular upset. Mind That Bird, an impossible result here.
Maximum security. Country House 1-2 down to the line. Maximum security wins the Kentucky Derby.
There is an objection that has been posted on the board, so it is unofficial. So for the first time in the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first has been disqualified. Country House wins the Kentucky Derby.
I mean, I feel compelled to say that the last one was a little different than the other two, but okay. I guess it belongs because of the odds, but okay. That one was a little different.
Mind That Bird looked like it was 2-5 in that race, the way he won.
It is incredible in retrospect that he drew off that way. I mean, like ridiculous. I mean, American Pharaoh. I mean, not that he was all out, but American Pharaoh only won by a length in the Derby.
Mind That Bird just made it look like a joke. It's just amazing that horse is 50-1, just goes through the rail and just spurts free, and he is gone. But we have a 20-horse field. This is how you get to these massive prices, right? We're used to, being excited about 10 and 12-horse fields, and when you get these 20-horse fields, man, anything can happen. Like you miss the break, you're done. You have one trouble in the first turn, you're done, and all of a sudden, it sets up for just a monster number to be rolling home.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm on Known Agenda. I loved Known Agenda until the draw came, and then all of a sudden I went, all right, if he somehow survives the break and is in some kind of position, then I'll like him. And if he doesn't, my bet is done, and there's no chance of a recovery and there's no way he's going to get around it. So, you're going to need some luck today for some of the ones that get decent prices. Now, they are giving you a number now on him. So it's almost worth it to go back to him and say, if you did like him and you want to roll the dice a little bit and you get a little bit of a different trip than typically what happens on the rail. But that said, I mean, I'm with you here. And all along, I've been just screaming this all week. I'm like, there's going to be huge money on this board. And I can't wait to see what it ends up at. And I just hope I'm on the right side of it, because there's at least one of these big numbers that's hitting, and I would not be shocked if it's 3 of them, honestly.
Yep. I haven't looked at the board recently. Last I saw, Mandaloon was sitting there at 29-1. That's absurd. I mean, I get why. Don't get me wrong. I understand why Mandaloon is 29-1, but let's just pretend for a second the Louisiana Derby never happened. This horse is 4-1, 5-1, right? I mean, and that race was just too bad to believe. And you talk to the Cox Barn, they come back and they say, we don't know what happened. Horse just didn't fire. I mean, we all have an off day.
If those 2 races in California didn't happen, Medina Spirit would be 1-9.
Yeah, that's true as well. I'll give you that too. Come on. But if we're making the case for a horse, you got to be able to cross a race out every now and then. It's for me. I just there's a lot of different prices I think you can get interesting with here, especially on the underneath side.
Yeah.
Mandaloon right now 28-1. The horse we were talking about a moment ago, Known Agenda, Florida Derby winner, down on the rail, 11-1.
Yeah.
looking at the board here, just looking at some other horses, we talked about that Louisiana Circuit Mandaloon, Hot Rod Charlie, who won the Louisiana Derby, but finished behind Medina Spirit, the race prior, and the Robert B. Lewis. 5-1 currently, co-second choice. To me, that's extremely surprising. I want to talk about that, but first, let's take a look at how Hot Rod Charlie won the Louisiana Derby, followed by Midnight Bourbon in second.
Mandaloon, Proxy looking to unwind on the far outside, then to the inside right and just as they come for home. Star in My Dreams from Obesos and Run Classic. They come down toward this final furlong. It's Hot Rod Charlie and Midnight Bourbon needs to lift. Hot Rod Charlie finding for Joel Rosario. They come past the 16th. Hot Rod Charlie just holds Midnight Bourbon, and rattling home is Obesos. It's Hot Rod Charlie to win the TwinSpires.com Louisiana Derby.
I want to bring in our next guest to jump in on this conversation. It's the Sniper back after a long layoff. Barry.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
How's it going, Barry?
Hanging in there.
From Florida. Good to see you, Snipe. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a long time. I missed you down at the Pegasus and the Florida Derby, but things are going good. Today's a great day.
You're coming in crystal clear here with the audio and the headset. So I'm going to let you have first crack at this conversation we're having, looking at the odds board. And Hot Rod Charlie's 5-1. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's a stretch, in my opinion. I mean, the horse isn't bad by any means, but you really have to take a second take at what he did in leaving Santa Anita to go to the fairgrounds to win. He was getting away from something. I don't know if it was Life is Good or something else, but he definitely caught a much weaker field, and it showed. He handled that field in Louisiana pretty easily. Maybe gave him a little confidence. I mean, I wouldn't take that number on him, but I can't fault anybody that does.
Yeah, I'm right there with Barry. I think 5-1 is pretty tough to swallow if you want to play him there, especially when you have horses that have beaten him there at longer odds. I thought what was really telling about that Louisiana Derby is that he made the lead. Right. You had Midnight Bourbon, who's the E8, that is supposed to be your fastest horse at the early pace here, and Hot Rod Charlie was ahead of him there. So I think that kind of tells you also how that speed numbers were down in Louisiana and what to expect from those horses when we're talking about who's going to be more forwardly placed.
Bram, I got to believe this is a case of a couple of factors on Derby Day when it comes to horses that take a lot of action. One is name, and it's just a fun name.
Yeah.
And two is storylines, and there are some really good storylines associated with this horse. One of them I wanted to show you is we caught up with one of the owners of Hot Rod Charlie. Let's take a look.
I'm Patrick O'Neill. I'm a part owner of Hot Rod Charlie and a part member of the Boat Racing LLC team. So I've never actually met Jake Panis, but I've been fortunate to meet Stephen Panis, who runs America's Best Racing, over this amazing journey we are on with Hot Rod Charlie. And I think as Boat Racing LLC, who are 28-year-old, 5 guys who are very, very fortunate to have their third horse running the Kentucky Derby, we understand that, we're very, very fortunate individuals and we don't necessarily deserve this. And so we're thinking about ways in which we can do more with this platform that's a little bit unexpected. And so we've partnered with Stephen Panis and the University of South Carolina, who has done a walk-on scholarship for Jake Panis, who is Stephen's son, who unfortunately passed from a horrific traffic incident just this past year. And so to support kind of Jake's pride and who he was as an individual, which was a kid who had so much grit. I wish I had met him. A kid who was so confident, a kid who had desires and goals to make it to the University of South Carolina and play on the football team just like his dad. We, as the owners of Hot Rod Charlie, who want to kind of embrace that whole idea of grit, hard work, and trying to do whatever it is to kind of make it to the next level, as Jake wanted to do, have created created a saddle towel in Jake's honor and are trying to get the word out on this amazing scholarship as much as possible. So donate to the University of South Carolina Jake Panis Walk-On Endowment Scholarship Foundation, and it's certainly something that really, really hits home for the boat racing LLC team and certainly all of Hot Rod Charlie.
It's so I've never had any literal skin in the game with a race like this. Like, I make my picks or whatever, and I'm rooting for someone, but I've never been literally connected to a horse. And in this case, I think Dan probably agrees with this, and maybe you guys do too, because we all know Steven really well. I'm rooting for him for very different reasons than betting on him. And that was a devastating, horrific day. I can't imagine what his family has been dealing with. And for all of us who are very close at ABR, I'll never forget the phone call when they told me what happened. And I think it's wonderful what the connections are doing with Hot Rod Charlie. And I want him to win. So he is going to be literally in every bet of mine. And the good news is I don't even think it's a reach. I think that he's got a shot here today. And I know that all of us, there'd be some divine intervention if he were to cross the finish line first. I would be really, really amazing. And it is the first time in my life, that I actually feel like I have a literal connection to one of the horses that is in the.
And we know Steven has been watching all day at home, and we got some of these hats here in tribute to Jake. And, we just, we want to let Steven and Kelly and Liam know that we love them, and now and every day. And if Hot Rod Charlie could win, it would be a little extra sweet today. So anyhow, much love out to the Panis family. Kudos to Team Hot Rod Charlie for getting involved in this way, and we shall see. I do have one guest who's actually live at Churchill, so I want to bring her in right now because I know she's got other work to get to. Everybody hang with me. Haley Amos. Haley, welcome back to the show.
Thank y'all for having me. It's good to be back.
Last we saw you, you were doing something else. Now you're doing something, I got to say, is much cooler.
I've got the credentials this time. I am not celebrating with champagne. I am out here working for Breeders' Cup, capturing some Breeders' Cup alumni. And Hot Rod Charlie, man, he was a runner-up in the Breeders' Cup, so we're excited to get him some coverage for social media.
All right. Well, we haven't done a deep dive on every runner in the field. I'm hoping you could provide us with a long shot or a horse we haven't spoken about. What are you thinking in terms of the Derby?
Well, y'all are talking about Hot Rod Charlie. I think that Louisiana circuit was very impressive. And Obesos is one of my big picks, one of my long shot picks. He ran a race that was improving, and he continues to improve from every race. So I think he's a horse to look out for.
Obesos, I like that pick. And Ren's back with us. Ren, how you doing out there?
I'm doing fine. I'm just sitting here. I'm just chilling. And hey, Haley, it's nice to see you.
Hi, Ren.
and the sniper. What's
hey,
up?
How you doing? What's going on?
Oh, doing well. I mean, I kind of missed some of what Haley said because with the connection for me, it's a little blippy. But I did hear you guys discussing Hot Rod Charlie, and of course, I mean, just the rootability there is off the charts for reasons that don't even need to be restated. But I will say, to the point that it's not even a stretch that this horse could win is absolutely true. I personally think that, I know you talk about maybe why you go to Louisiana Derby and whatnot. I personally think that horse showed so much that day at Santa Anita with that track having actually been listed as good. Is somebody being killed?
No one's having a good time.
they're betting. That's the 9th at Oaklawn, I think.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know whose frame that was coming from, and I was like, "What is happening here?" Okay.
Or Fauner Park. Maybe it was Fauner. Mike, you would know. You wrote up a sheet for Fauner today, didn't you?
I didn't do Fauner today, man. They're off today. They're black. We'll get another from a different track going.
I didn't know what was going on. I'm sorry, because I'm like Haley's on the front side of the track. I think I'm on the balcony of the museum.
I'm actually in the Horseman's Lounge right now, and I think someone just encountered their best friend, and so it was an exciting moment happening.
Oh, okay. Well, just wait until they get a winning bet then.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, this horse, the fact that he gutted it down, that track was actually listed good that day, and it's already a tiring track as it is. And what I was trying to say earlier is, Bob Baffert, he did this interview with Rosie Napravnik, and he was talking about, he described it as quicksand. He says when those horses get off that track, he's been so impressed with how his horses are skipping over the surface here at Churchill Downs. He's like, it's like they kicked off their hiking boots, is how he's described it. And so the thing with Hot Rod Charlie, obviously then running there at Santa Anita, not only did he, in my mind, put in a game performance as it was, but also between horses in the stretch like that, he never backed out. Now we've got like 19 other horses he's going to be facing, and that's the type of mentality and grit and determination you need in a race like this.
Bram?
Yes.
Got anything?
Yes, Dan. Can I help you?
All right, we're going back to Sniper.
Oh yeah.
Barry.
Hey, well, I want to talk about the next race. Can we go to the next race for a second here?
We
got
should.
Sniper here. We got Sabic. Give me a pick in the 11.
Around for the next
Give me a
race.
pick in the 11.
She wanted to talk Derby with us. All right, real quick. Does anybody? Are you ready to talk about the next race, the Turf
I'm
Classic?
happy to talk whatever y'all want to talk.
Yeah. What you got in the next one?
All right, let's talk Turf Classic.
I like Colonel Liam. He's my pick.
Okay.
So, all right, let me ask this question. Since we got the real handicappers here, all right.
Oh.
What do you do
fired.
with the horses off the long layoffs that are obviously good enough to win, but haven't raced in 6 months and are coming back and racing in something like this? What do you do with them?
I think that you have to be cautious on crossing them out because there are obviously horses that sometimes need that race to build up their stamina for the future. But there's also horses out there that can come off a long layup and run really impressively. I go back to Serengeti Empress. She won the Rachel Alexandra, and she had been on vacation since the Breeders' Cup when she ran as a 2-year-old. So she came and she ran and won, and it was one of those things that if you had looked, she'd been on a break and needed that break time, you would have missed out on that opportunity because she was had some long odds. So,
Dan, what do you do with that? What do you do with the 4 or the 5 in this race? Both of them could win. Neither one of them have raced since November.
Look, if you're asking me, the horse that I look at and that I've been going back and forth on is Ivar. And I actually like Ivar a lot. I mean, the horse ran a 102 buyer last time off the break. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, the horse, and if he goes to the lead, I don't see much speed in this race other than Smooth Like Straight. But watching Smooth Like Straight's replays, I'm not convinced Smooth Like Straight wants to be actually on the lead. They always kind of take him back and track second because I think he needs a target. So for me, I love Ivar, and I know that's an unpopular opinion because I was formulating a ticket earlier, and everybody was talking me off of Ivar. Not that it matters.
He's a Breeders' Cup alumni, so we're rooting for him too.
You're selling. You're selling all day. Selling all day. Mike, let's kick this question to you because I know we told you we'd only keep you for a set period of time. You've been here longer than we told you you'd be here. You tell us, we'll let you go, and we'll bring in our next guest.
Yeah, so to answer the question, I would say it depends on the first thing I look at is the trainer, and the second if the horse has done it before. So I think this is an interesting scenario here because you got Brown with 2 in here with domestic spending and digital age. Domestic spending has seemed to come back every single time off a layoff pretty well. So I think the 5 is going to be awfully live here, and the 5 ended up being my top pick. The 6 horse, Digital Age, kind of needs to build into his best race. So you look the first race off the layoff, the next one or the third race in the sequence is when he runs his best race. So Chad Brown can fire. He's 27% off this type of layoff. So I expect domestic spending to run a big one here. I'm singled up through the 5 in a couple tickets. I'm playing the 5 and actually the 1 in a couple tickets. Master Foxhound, which is bred for Turf on Turf. It's a Son of Warfront out of a Galileo mare. This horse should absolutely love the turf here. I think it's going to improve third star as a 4-year-old as well. So I'm on the 5 and the 1.
That mare is a full sister to Magician, Breeders' Cup Turf Champ Magician.
There we go. Even more reason then.
I saw Ren perk up. I know Ren has been high on this horse. She's going to tell us a little bit more about it. But Mike, thank you so much. Before we let you go, for those who just tuned in now, just real quick, give us your top 3 in the Derby.
I'm going with Medina Spirit on top. I'm going to use Essential Quality in second and Known Agenda in third.
All right, love it. And where can people catch you?
Samobomb18 on Twitter. Check out the Magic Mike Show podcast by the Racing Dudes.
All right, Mike.
Appreciate it, guys. Everyone, good luck, everybody.
See ya.
Mike.
Take care.
All right.
All right, so listen, I'm more inclined to go with Chad Brown, Flavien Prat if I'm going to pick one of these that's off a layoff like that, because I just trust the connections on that one. So that's where I am on it, and that's why I don't like your horse, Dan. Sorry. I'm out.
Oh, I literally pulled up our next guest right as he stood up, and we just got a great shot of his waist. We'll leave it at that. Let me see here. Roberto, if you could hear us, sit back down, or don't, or just stay standing. All right, so we're gonna pull in our next guest, Kurt Rosner from Old Smoke. I love that shirt. Kurt, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Joining us from what? From Saratoga?
From Saratoga. Yep.
All right, we're almost there. Barry, let's go back to you real quick.
Okay.
Give us this Turf Classic analysis. Who do you like?
I think Colonel Liam is such a standout in this race. I hate betting chalk, but that horse looks way above and beyond better than everybody here, and it's really only because of the recency factor. There's a lot of horses coming off some layoffs here that normally would be in a good spot. I gather one of them, maybe two of them might run fresh. Like a horse like Ivar is really big question mark to me. That's like a feast or famine horse. He's either going to be right on it or dead last. Somebody like Domestic Spending is like, where's he been? And why here? Why this spot? Why today? The other horse that kind of piqued my attention was Digital Age. He likes this track. He's run well at Churchill before. And I think he'll get a good setup. But, I'm not really too keen on the horses coming in from the West Coast, at least at grass runners. So, I kind of eliminated them off the bat. So this is where I'm taking a stand. If Colonel Liam wins, we're alive to a few in the end, in the big one.
Yeah, I'm usually with you with that toss in the California horse. I know Kurt doesn't even look at them. He just immediately puts Black Sarpy over them and just crosses them right out. But I actually like one of them. I like the two Count Again a little bit. Look, we'll see. I'll make a little bit of a case here in a moment. Haley, we know you've got work to do, and we're keeping you around. Colonel Liam, right now in the Turf Classic, give us your top three in the Derby before we let you go.
My top three?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Hot Rod Charlie, Obesos, and Highly Motivated. I think
you almost went all Louisiana there, but you stopped yourself.
No, I know. I think I stand by what I said. I think the Louisiana circuit this year was really impressive, but Highly Motivated's performance. If we're gonna go against the chalk here, there's some value with the way he ran that race. It was impressive at Keeneland.
All right, Haley, we love you. We're so glad to see you.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right, enjoy the rest of the day out there.
Bye.
All right, now we'll bring in the guy. Wait, where did he go? Oh, there's Kurt.
There he is.
There's Roberto. Roberto, do you hear us? You're on mute. Unmute yourself. All sorts of technical issues. Now go ahead, speak now.
Can't
we
hear
still
him.
don't hear you. Man. Kurt, you can troubleshoot. You run a business. Troubleshoot this.
That's not my role.
Roberto, we don't hear you, man. Let's maybe jump out and jump in. Jump out, come back in. Kurt, Old Smoke. You guys have a couple things going on these days.
We do, yeah. Big day. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
It's been forever. It's been forever, man. Tell us what's going on. I mean, you got like Secretariat collection. Tell us about all that.
We got a lot going on right now. It's been a really fun last couple of weeks. We fired off. I got the JK collection shirt on. We kicked that off. I don't know, was a couple of weeks ago now, and sold out so fast. We're set to re-release these next week. We got a Saratoga version coming, which is really hot. This thing is going to be awesome. So we're going to get that going next week. We got the Secretariat collection we just launched. And the big thing we got going on is our Superfecta Club. So it's a T-shirt club that, for super effective 4 horses. This is 4 packages a year, 4 custom, unique, exclusive shirts just for the members. So we just launched that this week, and really excited about that. It's going really well. So,
Barry, Bram, you guys have Old Smoke shirts?
Yeah.
I believe I have two.
I got the what do I have? I have the one that I had to explain to people because it's the Triple Crown, and somebody couldn't either. I think they couldn't figure out the shortened version of the Louisville Airport on it. So I had to explain that one. It was like coded for them. It was coded.
Matt has many Old Smoke shirts.
How you doing, Ren?
I need the Secretariat collection. I need the Secretariat collection. Just saying.
I hit up Kurt about the Secretariat collection. He's like, yeah, like take a number. Like, get in line.
That horse still kills it. I'll tell you, people love that stuff.
I want some. My favorite is, because I'm a cigar smoker, cigar. Can you make something out of cigar? Can we do something there? That'd be my special collection, please.
We have the coolest cigar shirt that's already done. But we never do anything without permission or having a conversation. And we haven't had that conversation yet, but we have a really cool shirt for cigar. It's one of our favorite horses too. That's already done. We can't wait till the day comes we can release it. But yeah, that's a cool one.
I'm giving you permission. I'm giving you permission.
In fact, that was one of the first designs we ever did. We put a whiteboard up, when we started day one, and that was right at the top of the list. So.
Kurt, we're going to come back to you for your Derby picks. We know you're going to have an East Coast bias, as you always do, like last year with Tis the Law. So we be prepared for that, everybody watching. But real quick, want to go back to Ren. Ren, we want your Turf Classic because
it's Master Foxhounds for a couple of reasons. I mean, I think one of the things that we need to remind everybody: these stakes races, they are running Lasix free. Okay, so just take that in consideration when you go over your handicapping. I mean, for a lot of these horses, they've already run without the Lasix, and some horses, they, maybe never run without it, but they'll still run fine, even though they never have, and they're coming off at this time. But it's still a handicapping tool. So for that reason, that's definitely part of it. I think this is a horse, though, that's just basically been coming into his own. Those Del Mar starts, he was just getting into the rhythm of being here stateside. It takes a bit to acclimate. Also, it's just like those first 2 starts he did run with Lasix. They took him off once he went to Santa Anita. He's been running well since. Again, that pedigree's fabulous. You're by Warfront. You're out of a full sister to Magician. And that Say the Word, he came back, won the Elkhorn very nicely.
Sounds like a pretty good case. Bram, what are your thoughts here in this race?
I think the number is too good on Smooth Like Straight to ignore it. It's 7-1. I mean, that's a gift. I agree with Barry and Colonel Liam looks like the class of the field. Obviously, I'm going to go against it because it's just not the price that I want. And I think Smooth Like Straight should be there, probably near or at the lead at the beginning. And if Colonel Liam's a little bit off today, I just don't know about Ivar domestic spending because he's been off for so long, and I'm not really sure where to go there. I'm with you, Dan, a little bit that like if someone's going to hit the board and make this juicy, I like Count Again. I also am somewhat intrigued by Ride a Comet to potentially come up late and hit the board late. But at 7-1, I think it's a gift on Smooth Like Straight, so I'll be all over that.
I like that. And look, Ride a Comet, the thing I like best, he's got the best turf rider for my money in the country. No disrespect to Flavia, no disrespect to Umberto or Julian. Tyler Gaffleone, best turf rider in the country, in my humble opinion.
I mean, this is also Rispoli's revenge day because he should have been on Rock Your World, and he's, I'm sure he's got some interesting feelings today racing in these races today.
We're going to take one more shot here with Roberto. Roberto, do you hear us?
I think I am.
There we go. We got you now.
Go.
All right, Roberto is live at the Kentucky Derby. I recognize that as the Parlay Media Room.
Yes, it is.
How is the buffet today?
It's better than 2 years ago.
And certainly better than last year when none of us could
exactly.
Roberto, we're going to get you in quick style because we know you got to get back out and cover the races. So we want an opinion in the Turf Classic, and then we want you to take us into the Derby.
The Turf Classic, I think, is domestic spending. That's my pick. That horse, it is a really good horse. I think he's they give it their time during the winter. They took it to Florida, and I saw them working on Palmettos, and that horse is, it's just gonna get better and better with the time. Also, when I was talking with exercise writers or Chad Brown, and they are very, high expectation on the number 6. That's the horse around here.
Won it last year.
Digital Age. Yeah, the champions. Yeah, he won the last year. So they are very high expectation on that horse. Obviously, Colonel Lee, I think, is the horse on the moment, and talking about turf, racing. But I think domestic spending, he will show today how good it is.
Okay, so domestic spending for Roberto, maybe a little bit of Digital Age, the reigning champ. Speaking of the reigning champ, as far as I know, Johnny V won the Kentucky Derby last year. He went to the lead with a horse who had speed. What do you know? He's on a horse who has speed again, and he's got a good draw. Roberto, is it going to be Johnny V and Medina Spirit, or will it be someone else who's on the lead?
No, I think it's going to be Soup and Sandwich, because that's the only race that he has.
Okay.
There is no way that he's going to, set back and wait for an opportunity. His race on the lead, Roger Ward, he showed a lot of speed in the Santa Anita Derby. Medina Spirit is going to be there. I don't think it's going to be the same race that we saw last year. Just authentic, losing the lead. I don't think that's going to happen this year, because if that happens, that horse is going to pass. He's going to put really, really crazy fraction, and nobody wants to do that in a mile of water. So I think it's going to be, a contested, lead, and that will open the opportunity for horses, in that case, the favorite Essential Quality. Remember, now we don't have that space that was created before, with the auxiliary starting gate. Now he's going to get a, better break. And I still think the No Agenda can do it. I was talking with Ida yesterday. I was talking to Ida yesterday, and I asked him, listen, what do you think about the post position 1? He said, Potro, listen, the horse that's going to win is going to win for whatever post he started. So I think it was the two horses, the legit horses. Unfortunately, we had the scratch of King Fury. That horse was working really, really good for this race. Unfortunately, got a scratch yesterday. And I mentioned to you this morning, I'm intrigued on Sainthood. It's 50-1, but I use that horse on my combination. I don't care, Probably he's going to be a part of the top pleasure strategy, to try to keep a clean path for Non-Agenda. Who knows? But if that horse runs from, started slow and then finish strong, I think that horse can be in the superfecta.
Sainthood, no longer 50-1, taking some action. So a lot of people thinking like you, 37-1. Yeah.
Maybe you talk to them after I talk to you.
I didn't say anything.
Dan, stop letting people in this live stream that pump up Sainthood, because the number keeps going down.
Exactly. Right? Listen, because you just this morning, you were 50-1, and 3 hours later,
if somebody on here is like, I like the king, like, great, do that.
You have to learn to keep secrets, man.
My bad. And look, it's no surprise your fellow Floridian sniper. He was, when you said known agenda, it was
right.
Seat.
That's my horse.
That's
my horse.
I love known agenda. I hate his post. I love
deal with it.
What's the problem with the post?
What's the problem with it? I don't know. Typically, every year I see the horse in the one hole and he gets swallowed up like a tsunami hit him. And then, guess what? It's the Kentucky Derby and you can't overcome it. It's not a 6 furlong sprint in Aqueduct on a Wednesday.
Listen, remember, just 2 horses have won for the post position 14, and that's the favorite. Just 2 horses. At least the post position 1, he has won 8 horses and won from that post position. So, But
listen, he's in my bet, and I love him. I loved him all week. It was just when the draw came out, I went, "Oh man!" Now he's just got something to overcome.
It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be. But listen, for that horse in that post position, whose jockey you gonna ask him to ride it?
Right.
I ride.
True. Well, I got a hot take for you. I think that Essential Quality actually got a better draw because of who drew outside of him than Known Agenda did getting the 1.
That is a hot take.
Only because I think that essential quality is going to have to be used in order to gain position. I don't think he wants too many horses crossing in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
But he got no chance on Roger Ward on the start. Roger Ward is fast.
I think he's going to try to hang him out and let Soup and Sandwich go. Midnight Bourbon is, to me, and I've been saying this all week, he's a runoff. He's just going to go. So there's going to be a hot pace, I think.
Yeah, same thing with Highly Motivated. They don't go to the lead this time. They're going to wait.
Right, they're going to pull back.
They're going to pull back, and they're going to be in really good position.
Yeah, I didn't think Highly Motivated wanted to lead the last time. I think he just ended up there. And they were just so much better than everybody else. It was just basically a match race.
Well, let's do this. Roberto, they're going to the gate for the Turf Classic. I know you want to be out there for that, so we're going to let you go. Thank you for checking in with us.
Thank you, guys.
We love you, man.
Always a pleasure.
Let people know where they can find you real quick before you go.
Potter Rob. They can find me anywhere. So, All right, guys. Thank you.
See you, Roberto. All right, you were talking about that matchup in the Bluegrass Stakes. Let's take a look at that. And then speaking of hot takes, on the other side of this, we have the queen of hot takes. She's coming up. But first, let's look at the Bluegrass Stakes.
Highly Motivated has the lead coming toward the quarter pole. Essential Quality second on the outside. Still a half length separate the top two. And they've opened up by 7 lengths off the turn to Hidden Stash, who swings wide in third. Here comes Essential Quality now, taking aim once again at Highly Motivated, who still has the lead coming into the final furlong of the Toyota Bluegrass. Highly Motivated with the advantage. Essential Quality is still driving at him from the outside past the 16th pole. Highly Motivated. Essential Quality. What a finish! The champ remains unbeaten.
I don't know. There she is, Bree.
What's up? What's up? How are you guys?
We are good. We are good. What do you think? What do you do with those two horses?
So I'm a highly motivated fan. I think that he just looks like a Derby horse. But to me, he had the trip of a lifetime in that, and he still got beat. So I think Derby's going to be a bit harder, and I don't know that he can have the trip of the lifetime here. And if he got beat there, I mean, I'm going to put him in my mix, but he's going to be farther down. He's not going to be first for me.
Now, Dan, you know how every year when you have me on, I always have something special for you, especially with my shirt.
Okay.
I got something for you this year.
All right.
And Bree.
I'm scared. Yeah.
There we go.
That's right.
I love
Representing.
That was a dramatic reveal, and I could tell Kurt is heartbroken that it wasn't.
The next one, next year. I got you.
Next year.
I got you.
So
Exactly.
Barry was
Especially
a
if you
bit
get
worried.
the cigar.
Barry
If
was
you
a
get
bit
that
worried
cigar
about me
shirt, that's
today
great.
Because I threw up a picture of handicapping in the morning, and I just opened up my notebook, took a picture, and he of course calls it out. He's like, "Those are yesterday's PPs." I'm like, "Dude, I know. Like, I'm not capping them. I just took a freaking picture."
I can tell you this. I was tipped off on that from Brian Howard.
Oh, of course.
So you gotta hit him up on Monday.
Oh, I will. I'll hit him up shortly.
Let me give you a little quick play-by-play, just briefly. The Turf Classic, the Old Forester Bourbon Turf Classic is off right now. They're about midway through the race. As expected, Smooth Like Straight is loose on the lead, setting pretty reasonable fractions, cross-border to his outside, and Colonel Liam getting a great trip down on the inside. Colonel Liam, no excuse. Tyler Gaffleone is moving, master of Foxhounds on the outside. Doesn't look like it beat today. Digital Age also kind of looks to be a little one-pace. I think it's going to come down to Smooth Like Straight and Colonel Liam. Smooth Like Straight, kicking clear a little bit. Let's see. Colonel Liam now coming back at him. I think Colonel Liam might grind this out. Oh, we got some movers from the back now. There's
Ivar.
Ivar's not getting there. Colonel Liam at the wire. Domestic spending. I don't think he got up. I think Colonel Liam held.
I can't pick my nose today, guys. I mean, good Lord.
Well, if it was domestic spending, it'll be the second year in a row. I'm pretty confident that Roberto has come on and just kind of cold decked.
The exacta.
Yeah, I mean, he's, it took a little while to get him on, but look, it was close. It was a photo and a very
close.
gutsy run there by Smooth Like Straight. I mean, was loose up front, but definitely hung in, and I think it was a good show. Let's see. I'm taking another look at the photo. Bram, you have any feel for this photo?
So I couldn't see it, So this is Archer, by the way. Say hi,
The little
Archer.
guy. Hey.
I'm Archer, and I work for the horse racing show.
Yeah. Who do you like in the Kentucky Derby, Archer?
That's awesome.
Man, that's a close photo, man.
You don't know?
That's really
I'm going to have you look at the form, and then I'm going to have you come back and tell me who you got, okay?
Can I see it?
Yeah, here you go. Take a look. Here, take a look at
Archer,
these.
just tell him the winner. You like the winner.
Yeah, it's all we want. The winner.
Just give
buddy.
him one. Just give him one.
This is tight. I mean, it could be.
It's very tight.
It could
It's
be
tighter than it looked.
Yeah,
Okay.
Live, it looked like
Rispoli?
a 3.
He likes Rispoli. That's what he
Okay.
likes. He likes Rispoli.
That's the man.
Wow. Yeah, Pletcher's in the paddock, kind of looking at. What did he say?
You drink your RYE.
That might be a heater. That's close.
I mean, you
Oh,
can't
man.
ask for better racing today and yesterday for that matter. Like the photo finishes, the duels. I mean, there's nothing but action in past 2 days, today and yesterday.
I mean, this would be a good time for me to complain about how long it took for me for the streaming service to actually show me the race because I missed it. So now I'm watching a replay of it, and I'll answer your original question when I actually see what happened.
Yeah, this is. I mean, they're showing. They're going back and forth between the horses in terms of the.
It might be a heater. It's that close.
Wow, that's really close. Man, yeah. When I watched it live, I thought it was Colonel Liam.
Out of the 3, yeah. But then this second view, when they slow it down, it looked tight. Like.
All right, while
I think it's a heater. It might be a heater.
While we're waiting on it,
I think the 5 has just that much.
He's got the edge, but
They're showing the 5. We're gonna make a bet, Barry.
I think it's a dead heat.
I bet I'll go 5. 5's the 5. 5's winner.
I got a heater. DH.
I'm gonna go dead heat too. I think it's a dead heat.
Oh, so I could win $10 on this?
Oh.
You could.
Right, and 7. No one cares about 7.
Bram has 7. Bram's money's on the 7.
I had my money on the 7.
All right, we're bringing in one more guest here. Justin Powell back live with us. What's going on?
Guys, how you doing today? I'm doing well.
Are you watching this race? Who do you think won this Turf Classic?
Actually, I'm not watching the race. I'm actually up in the living room right now. I'm playing blind right now.
Well, you missed a good race here. It looks. I mean,
Still no numbers up.
Right,
That's looking
they're
bad for you,
interviewing the
Bree.
3 though. I know.
I don't see it either. Who is it? 3, 5, 7?
Yeah, I think it's. I think
3,
it's
5,
dead
7.
heat. 3-5. I think it's dead heat.
Really?
Barry, I'll
I mean,
send
it's
you my
taken them
Venmo.
long enough. They haven't posted anything yet. It's between, if you're watching at home, trying to figure this out, Colonel Liam, the 3 horse who went off as the 7-5 favorite, and Domestic Spending, 5-1, charging late. If he got up in the last jump, but I think it's a dead heat or Colonel Liam. I mean, that's where I'm going with this.
Oof, it looks like a heater.
It's kind
That's
of
tough.
Spending's
Oh
MO.
my God, the clothes on that horse though.
Wow.
The suspense is killing me.
And I just want an answer now so I can move on with my life. I mean, they just need, come on.
I think it's a heater. It's a long time.
Developing pictures right now. Like, what year is this? Like, just
Like
give me an
the
answer.
Flintstones. Like the
What do you
Flintstones.
think,
I got
Brad?
it.
It's pretty confident. Oh, dead heat. It's a dead heat.
I was right.
Dead heat.
Ah, listen, literally cannot win anything right now. I mean,
Pay up,
nothing.
Brady. Pay up, Brady.
Nothing. I can't even win this
I'll drop my
stupid
Venmo in
bet.
the comments.
I'm just Venmoing everybody today. Whatever y'all need.
Justin, we welcomed you in at a crazy time. We know you write a little bit for Yahoo Sports, doing a little racing action. Tell us about how you're approaching this Kentucky Derby. I remember for Belmont, was it Belmont? You did a pretty cool race pace shape thing. Explain that to us. Tell us what you like in Derby.
Well, we kind of used some new technology. We did an augmented reality look at the Belmont Stakes, so we were able to do like a little simulation, and it was predicated around my picks and predictions. But nevertheless, it was kind of a cool technological, I guess, advancement in the industry where you can kind of, and hopefully everybody can use this to manipulate this technology down the line, where you can kind of see your picks play out the way you kind of envision it and see if it actually makes sense. You know, sometimes it makes sense in your head, but then when you see it, it's like, that's probably not going to happen. So it was really cool. So that was something we weren't able to do this year for the Derby, but nevertheless, I did write on kind of how I saw the race playing out, and it's pretty exciting.
Well, give it to us. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I found it when tasked with handicapping strictly the winner, I found it hard to work around essential quality. I think race in the field kind of plays perfectly to his strengths. I mean, he's a high cruising speed stalker and is not tremendous out the gate speed in the race. I mean, he's amongst the fastest pound for pound by himself. So I think he's going to be close towards the front of the pack, and he's shown the propensity to be a strong closer. Last time out in the Bluegrass Stakes, where he was kind of further up in the lead, like the snipers said earlier on, him and Highly Motivated were kind of head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. So they kind of pushed the tempo by default, and he still had enough in the tank to close strong late. And I think in Derby today, there's going to be a lot of horses in the mix down late. And if I had to pick, I would say Essential Quality probably will be chief among the finishers. But with that said, I will be looking to bet on a couple other long shots, I think, to win. Medina Spirit.
You can't give us just a 2-to-1 shot. So
yeah. So Medina Spirit, Midnight Bourbon, and Highly Motivated are kind of the bigger odds I'm looking. I'll probably do a trifecta, keying Essential Quality, and keep those guys in the mix because I think they have a propensity for being close down the stretch. I mean, all of them have kind of been no less than third at any point in their whole career. So when you're looking at horses that in the Derby, particularly 6 of the last 7 winners have been coming from the lead through the first half of the race. So I think all 3 of those long shots have the chance to be closer to the front and be in the mix. So if Essential Quality leaves the door open, I think one of them can seize the opportunity.
Yeah, I like the prices better on some of the others, especially, I mean, Medina Spirit to me, we've talked about a number of times, Rock Your World, who's not going to be a much bigger price. But why don't we just take a quick look back at that Santa Anita Derby in which Rock Your World really it was a coming out party. Santa Anita Derby, Rock Your World's first and Medina Spirit second. Let's take a look.
At the top of the stretch, and Rock Your World hugs the rail, leads it by 2 lengths still. Dream Shake on the outside, Medina Spirit trying hard. It's Rock Your World in command. Medina Spirit making no progress, and it's going to be Rock Your World to take them all the way in the Run Happy Santa Anita Derby. He's undefeated and wins by 4.
All right, just got the message from Kurt. Kurt's got to run here in a second. Kurt, give us your quick Derby analysis, and then we'll let you go.
Oh, man, Derby is tough this year because what Hot Rod Charlie's done for our dear friend, Stephen Panis. I checked out right there. I got to go with him all the way. So I didn't even look at anything else. But Hidden Stash, watch out for Hidden Stash.
Hidden Stash, wow.
Yeah, they do a lot of business with us, so that always goes through. So
Kurt handicapped with his wallet.
That's right.
Oh man,
my heart in the wallet. Got to go.
Hidden Stash. That seems to work together in a lot of ways.
Always.
All right, Kurt.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Real quick, let people know where they can get some Old Smoke gear.
Yeah, oldsmokeclothing.com is the website, and then Old Smoke Clothing is our handle on Instagram, and Old Smoke Co. on Twitter, for sure.
All right, Kurt. We'll see you soon, brother.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Shirt.
See ya.
Think of me. I want it.
All right, we're bringing in one more new guest live from Arkansas. We haven't had many Arkansas guests.
I didn't know what everyone was going to be wearing, and I panicked. and I just ended up dressing like Brad Cox on accident.
That works.
That is the Cox go-to wardrobe. I love that. Chase Sessom co-hosts Always Be Racing on America's Best Racing every Friday with Blackjack Fletcher and Danielle Monet. And by the way, that show is sponsored by Stable Duel.
Stable Duel.
Gotta show it. Gotta show it again.
There it is.
Wow. Bree, before we, because we got to let Chase get a little deeper into that bourbon that he's sipping, tell us about what's on the horizon with Stable Duel. What are the big contests that are coming up? What do people need to look out for?
So, I mean, we're pretty much going to release this as soon as the Derby is run, but we have a $20,000 Preakness game going. So last year we had a $10,000 Preakness. It's $20,000 this year. It's going to be hype. It's going to be awesome. Obviously 2 weeks. So if you have not downloaded the app, you need to download it right now. We have plenty of free games. So you can get in, kind of get a, feel for it, start picking horses. You want 10 horses. Dan knows. Ask Dan on Twitter if you got any question. Ask Barry up there if you have any questions. You can always hit me up on Twitter as well. But, I mean, we just got big games for Preakness coming, and there's always fun giveaways. So I'm literally at a Derby party right now, and I came out here to be quiet, and everyone just moved out here and is loud. So don't keep me on here because I don't want to have all the riffraff. But I'm going to give my pick.
Yeah, let's hear it. Give it to us.
I'm going Rocker World. Listen, we just watched the race, took off. Also, wrong lead. If the horse can win like that on the wrong lead, I don't know. I'm going to throw money at it. So I've got Rocker World over Essential Quality. No agenda. Too many people are throwing out because of the dreaded one post. It's different now with the gate. I think that is a hell of a horse. It also is a lot faster than I think Hot Rod Charlie. No, there's another one. But Florida Derby, faster fractions in that one that he won than another horse that a lot of people are rating over him. So I'm just going to throw those three out there. But Rocker World, Essential Quality, Known Agenda, and Long Shot. I'm in between Midnight Bourbon and Superstock.
Okay, Superstock. We haven't heard much about Superstock. We're going to talk about that one with Chase because that's a horse that broke through in Arkansas. So, Bree, we love you. We wish you the best the rest of the day. We'll see you soon.
Good luck, y'all. Good luck. See ya.
All right. Chase, what do you make of the Arkansas Derby? What do you make of Superstock? Why don't we take a look at what Superstock did in the Arkansas Derby? Let's take a look at it, and then we'll come back and you give us your thoughts.
Four from the lead, top of the stretch. Concert Tour confronts Caddo River. Caddo River tough to get by. Concert Tour is now taking the lead, and he's a length and a half in front. But Superstock is a fresh challenger in the center of the racetrack. And here comes Superstock outside of Concert Tour. Superstock has taken over the lead. Concert Tour has been defeated. Superstock, Ricardo Santana win the Arkansas Derby.
Neat horse who benefited from a fast pace and a good trip, or rising star?
I think that Superstock was more than anything just a phenomenally well-placed horse by Steve Asmussen into that race. I'm going to go ahead and say that it was definitely kind of, fortune favoring him with Caddo River and Concert Tour going ahead and just burning it up on the front end. Those are two horses that had to be on the lead, and then both were probably a little bit distance compromised. You're guessing because they're not in the Derby. So I think it really just kind of fell directly to Superstock. I think it's a talented horse, but I think, this might be looking a little bit better than it probably should.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard from everyone else on Superstock. Let's kick it around the room. And look, we may as well just cover the horses all on the outside who have a certain running style. They got to be sort of close. I mean, Soup and Sandwich has some early speed, 19. Superstock, you would think wants to be close enough, 18. Bourbonic, I'm not worried about. And then, of course, Highly Motivated, who you would assume would want to be at worst, in the second flight. What do you guys make of those? Highly Motivated, Superstock. We talked about Highly Motivated, but Superstock, Soup and Sandwich. I mean, do we give those horses shots given their running style? Sniper?
I do not. I think Superstock was, like was said previously, the beneficiary of a absolute perfect trip, and he was all out to do it. So I don't like him at all. Same thing with Soup and Sandwich. It's very, very tough to do what Soup and Sandwich is attempting to do. I just need Soup and Sandwich to go to the lead and go fast, and it'll set everything up for everybody else. And that's what I need him to do. Bourbonic, I'm not really worried about. It's tough to be a closer, dead closer in a race that you're not fast enough to win from the extreme outside post. So he's a complete toss for me.
Complete toss. Wow.
Yeah, not even using him on the ticket. Unfortunately, Kendrick Carmouche, a good friend of mine, he's, definitely somebody I support. I'd love to see him hit the ticket, but it's going to be a tough task. The horse that actually, funny enough, that I do like, that has been running those kind of races similar to what Bourbonic was doing, is Keep Me in Mind. He ran huge at a big price in the Breeders' Cup, and he's been doing the same thing. So, I don't suspect they're going to try to change their tactics or anything. And if he can, kind of suck up and pass a few horses at the end, I wouldn't be surprised, and he's definitely on my ticket.
That horse, that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away with that one. So we'll see. On Bourbonic, it feels like a lightning has to strike twice situation. And from the 20, if he got anything but 20 or 1, I probably would have felt differently about it. But because he's at 20 or 19 now, I don't like his chances. But I'll tell you what, here's what I think is like the most interesting person in this is Todd Pletcher to me. I like Known Agenda a lot. We've talked a lot about sainthood here. We don't really know what the ceiling is, and there's a distinct possibility here. I think a lot of us like him as someone who might hit the board and really change the dynamic of the payout. Bourbonic is very interesting where he is. I mean, I think he's got a shot here to surprise a lot of people with big prices, and I don't bet against his barn very often. So I think he is the most interesting kind of factor in all of this, because for a lot of reasons, I kind of want to toss some of his horses, and it's more about location of where they're leaving the gate and not about what I think their high-end ability is. But at the same time, I think Pletcher might surprise a lot of people and have a couple of them hit the board today.
Well, the one Pletcher who I think is drawn well is Dynamic One, who finished second in the Woods.
I agree.
And
if you like Bourbonic, you got to like Dynamic One too. You have to if you like Bourbonic.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that finish of the Wood Memorial that Bourbonic won, passing Dynamic One in the stretch.
Farther back, Bourbonic. The half mile, 50 seconds. Market Maven leads 3/4 of a length. Wayburn on the outside in second. Candyman Rocket is in third. And Candyman Rocket's move is followed by Dynamic One, who's gaining ground on the outside. Prevalence is in between horses. Brooklyn Strong is down at the rail. Risk Taking is still 4 lengths from the lead. Crowded Trade is now coming on and looking to gain ground in between horses. 3/4 went in 1:14.4. The field is at the top of the stretch in the Wood Memorial. Here's Wayburn. Here's Dynamic One on the outside. Brooklyn Strong is down at the rail, and Crowded Trade is coming on now as they come for the 8th pole. It is Dynamic One. Here's Crowded Trade on the outside. Wayburn continues to battle down at the rail, and it's a 16th to the finish. And here's Bourbonic, who was last, making a late run out in the middle of the track. It is Dynamic One and Bourbonic. Dynamic One and Bourbonic, a photo finish. Bourbonic got there.
Well, seriously, show me a better finish anywhere in the trail than that one. Seriously.
Yeah,
I don't think you could toss him because of that, but it does feel like lightning has to strike twice here.
You know, one thing that I did notice, and I noticed it a while ago, if you look at that replay, and this is for the numbers and the speed figures type people, they went a 50 half, right? 50 half, 3/4 and almost 1:15, and the pace collapsed.
Yeah, you don't see that
just collapsed. And my theory is that those races at Aqueduct, especially on that day, were highly affected by the track. And I don't like the horses coming out of that that race for that reason.
Those are some very winter duct fractions.
Right.
Very,
Exactly.
very winter duct fractions.
Justin, I want you on this as well on the NYRA prep. But before we get to that, we have a live report coming in from Isabella Leslie, who's on the backstretch right now at Churchill Downs. So, Isabella, you're about to witness and take part in one of the greatest traditions in horse racing and in any sport, the walkover for the Kentucky Derby. Set the scene for us.
Yes. Very excited. So everyone, there's not a huge group here yet, but it's going to get really busy soon. I think they want everyone to start gathering around 6 p.m. So that's exciting. And then we'll start the walkover at 6:14. So super excited to see all the horses get over here, all the connections, everyone dressed up. It's a lot of fun.
Have you done the walkover before, or is it your first one?
No, yes, I've done it twice. So I've been really blessed. We had War of Will and then Enforceable last year.
So describe what that's like when you're bringing the horse over from like the barn area and all the fans are like just going nuts.
Yeah, so it kind of is organized chaos, to put it in more descriptive terms. They have everyone start circling with the horses, and they try to get the people to stay around their horse, mainly for NBC's cameras. And then so we circle for a little while, and then we start walking, and it's kind of a follow the leader type thing going over there. And as soon as the fans see the horses walking in front of them, they start cheering, and you have people yelling at you, and it's a lot of fun. Thankfully, it's sunny this year. Sometimes you're having to pull your boots out of the mud and go barefoot running around, but we have perfect weather. It couldn't be better, and there's a great crowd out there, so I'm really excited.
Do a little spin around for us. Show us what you're looking at.
Yeah,
what's going on.
Absolutely. So right behind me is the track. I don't know if you can see it. We have the stand right there. So it's got the barn area in the back. So not too many people here yet, but it gets really crazy.
Bram, I know you were trying to try to extract useful handicapping information from Isabella by asking her for inside info on the Mark Casse barn.
She's like the Pentagon, so I'm not gonna. If you're asking me to do it again, I'm not gonna. But whatever. Fine. Go ahead, Dan. You were saying.
Well, no, Sniper Justin Chase, you weren't on earlier, but Isabella also works for Mark Casse, so they've got Helium and Soup and Sandwich. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any questions? Are you considering using Helium? Helium's kind of the mystery horse. What do you think?
One thing about Helium that stands out to me is the horse is undefeated, won a grade 2, and is one of the longer prices on the board. I mean, just those credentials alone, you would think things would be a lot different, but it's just such a strange year, and you got to be in the gate to win it. So,
yeah.
I've seen people get really excited about Tampa Bay prep winners, and I just feel like that's a cautionary tale that I've seen go wrong so many times. And so for that reason, I just have to toss Helium completely.
Chase, as a reminder, Isabella works for Mark Casse.
I know.
It's okay.
She's got 2, though. I didn't say anything about the other one.
Opinion.
Yeah, I thought we were saving her opinions for when she wasn't there, but that's all right. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. I think a lot of the Derby, too, is how the trip plays out as well. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, what Helium did was sort of interesting. Isabella, if you could hang with us for a moment, I want to take a look at the Tampa Bay Derby. It was under a hard ride from the gate and was super wide all the way around, and then held off Hidden Stash. So let's take a look at that Tampa Bay Derby real quick.
But meanwhile up front, Helium now strikes to the lead. Along the rail, that's Candyman Rocket racing along second. Way out on the outside, Hidden Stash is absolutely in full stride. Down to the wire, it's Hidden Stash and Rafael Bejarano along the rail. Digging back gamely is Helium. Looks like we're down to 2. Helium repels the challenge. It's Helium in a huge effort. Turns away the challenge.
Isabella, you may not know this. Chase was a French lit major, and he was very pleased.
It was a minor thing.
Minor. And so he was very pleased to see Julien Leparoux on Helium.
Yes.
Talk to us a little about the jockeys. I know you've kind of met up with a lot of jockeys out at the Derby the past few days. Who are you kind of feeling is exuding the most confidence right now?
They're all very confident, I do have to say. As far as Julian being on helium, he obviously hasn't ridden him in a race yet, but he's been riding him out in the mornings when they're breezing, and so he's been on him before, whereas some jockeys like Mike Smith, for instance, hasn't been on Midnight Bourbon. But like I said, that's pretty common with jockeys. But they're all pretty confident in themselves, and there's a lot of excitement. I think there's a little bit of nerves for some of them. Kendrick Carmouche being his first time, mentioned he has little butterflies, but he couldn't be more excited to be here.
You got a cool interview with Kendrick Carmouche that we're going to show in just a few minutes. Before we let you go, give us one last spin around, show us the view, and you can get back to work and get ready for the walkover.
So we're starting to gather a little bit more people, but
yeah, what is it? Show us that little perch there that people are hanging in. What is that?
So this is the gap stand. So in the mornings, trainers stand out there. I don't know if I'm trying to get out your view. They can stand there and watch the horses, but it just overlooks this gap right here, which is where the horses enter on and off the track. So people are standing there just watching and waiting for the horses to get over here.
How long is the walk for you?
You're gonna make me do math.
You could just say
whatever,
long or short.
You go from the 7/8 pole to the finish line, so that's an eighth of a mile plus. Are we saying maybe a quarter mile?
Yeah, it feels that much. It feels like 3 miles when you're like trudging through that mud as you.
Yes.
You
so
mentioned
thankfully there's no mud today. I don't know. I just finished school yesterday, so my brain is not math oriented right now.
Understandable.
And congrats. We'll make the assumption that you're going to graduate with high honors. So we want to
thank you.
Congratulate Isabella on her graduation. And for incredible work over the past few months with America's Best Racing. This is your first assignment out on the field, and you've done an incredible job. Thank you, Isabella.
It's been a ton of fun. Thank you.
All right, good luck. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dan, I'll tell you, this sport is different. They allow access that other sports really typically don't, and we got to do the walk. I got to do the walkover a couple years ago. The only unfortunate part was it was like rainstorm. So, the clothing that we bought was a one-wear only time. And those were some pretty nice shoes that had to go in the trash after all of that. But that's a minor complaint about the whole thing. That was seriously one of the most memorable things I've ever done in my life. When you do that walk with the horses, with the trainers, you can feel the tension. And then there's all these people dressed to the nines with their phones up, taking pictures of you as you make this walkover. It was one of the most stunning and unforgettable things that I've ever had the privilege to do. And I had no business being there. Like, I have no connection to any of these things. I'm just like, I got the pass and I got to do it. I felt like I snuck in, and did like one of the coolest things that's ever happened.
Well, good way to brag and just let everyone know how amazing your life is.
Yeah. You did it too. What are you talking about? I
was right there with you. It was awesome. Let's go to the back side of the track. Now let's go to the front side of the track and our good friend Nikki. Nikki, what's up? You're by the paddock there?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm at the paddock, and I have a guest too. So I didn't.
You have guests. We weren't expecting this. Tell me you have Mike Ivor on like last time at Gulfstream.
Oh, well, this is Nanette.
And this is Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
This is my boys.
And the boys?
Well, those are yeah.
The boys.
And the boys. Everybody knows the boys.
The squad, as we like to call them.
Which boys are those? Are those the same boys that own Hot Ride Charlie or different boys?
No, absolutely not. Those are some random strangers that are really good guys.
Just a problematic crew of bachelors, really.
Yeah.
Important to note, it is now 5:57 p.m. on the East Coast, which means we are exactly 1 hour away from the gates opening for the Kentucky Derby. Tell us, guys, you're by the paddock there. What are you seeing right now?
We're seeing a lot of anticipation. You can tell that people are excited about this race coming up, the 12th race for the 147th Kentucky Derby. And I know our boys, they may be in their mid to late 20s, but they are ready to go. They've got their game face on. They got the competitive spirits that are just flowing, and they couldn't be more excited.
All right. Well, first of all, give us a pick. Who's the pick now? Who's the trifecta for the Derby out there?
What? I'm sorry, we were breaking up.
Yeah, Nikki, who do you like? Who's your Derby top three?
Oh, who do I like? Well, of course, Hot Rod Charlie. I mean, you can't leave him off your ticket. We also like Medina Spirit because it's Bob Baffert and he's going to send and he's going to be up to the lead. Known Agenda is the only other horse in the field with the triple-digit buyer, so you can't leave him off. But my actual long shot of the day is Sainthood. I really like this horse. He won last time out. You know, he showed that he has what he can to compete. And, I mean, the connections are there, and it's Todd Pletcher, so you can't leave him off your ticket.
We get a lot of Sainthood on this show. This show has been heavy Sainthood. We'll see. We're looking for a long shot, and I think that's sort of been the consensus long shot on this show so far.
Yeah, and I mean it's the connections of Justify with the China Horse Club and Windstar. So I mean it's all Derby. Baffert. I mean you can't leave these big names off your ticket. That's what I think. I mean they know what it takes to show up on big days, and they bring their big games.
Nick, is there any action behind you in the paddock? Are people starting to gather in the paddock yet?
Can you see it? Hang on.
Let's see. Let's go full screen. All right, a little bit of action.
It's not that busy yet. I mean, there's people here, but I mean, they haven't done the walkover yet, so there's still, you know, but it's definitely filling in for sure.
What are some of the biggest differences you noticed from this Derby and Derbies pre-COVID?
This is actually my very first Kentucky Derby, so surprising. But so I mean, everyone says it's so nice that there's not so many people here and it's not so congested and not everyone's running into everyone. But I mean, for me, this is my first Derby experience, and it's been the most incredible experience ever. But it's definitely not congested or a lot of people.
Nice.
All right, we are under an hour now until the post for the Kentucky Derby. I'm looking at NBC right now, and I see that there is a crowd migrating towards your area. So look out for people heading your way. Bram, any questions about kind of what's going on site?
Yeah, what's going on site?
Well, I also have a pick
right,
for you guys, a long shot. This is not now, but it's in the future. So Hidden Scroll is going to run his next big race to show Andy Sterling for my friend Mark DeTample. So Hidden Scroll's next race, don't leave him off your ticket.
All right.
Done.
Look out for Hidden Scroll.
Done.
Now you got it.
Now we got it.
How many people are there? Who knows? How many people were allowed in today? What was the number?
I think around 40,000. 40,000?
40, yeah. I think I heard 40.
Nikki, does it feel like 40,000 people are there?
No, not at all. No, it seems. I mean, it seems very empty. I didn't have to wait in line for a drink. I didn't have to wait in line for the bathroom or to get food. So that's kind of like that's not what I was expecting for the Derby. It's not pouring down rain. It's not a Derby I thought.
All right, Nikki, it's your first Derby. We know you want to enjoy all of it. We'll let you get back. Thank you for waiting in the green room for us for a little while. We wish you a lot of luck. Enjoy it out there.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you guys. Hi, Barry.
Hey, good to see you.
Bye.
Barry? I thought you were the sniper.
Same thing. Some people call me Barry. That's my government name.
Let's bring in our next guest. It's the Uber Ellis Starr. What's up, Ellis?
Hey, Sniper, hey, everybody. What's up?
There we go.
Hey, Ellis, my man.
By the way, we've had Sniper in for like 6 hours now. So, Sniper, if you've got to leave, you just let us know. We're just
all right. Yeah, give me. Yeah, I probably got to run.
All right. Well, give us just recap. Top 3 horses in the Derby.
Top 3. You got Known Agenda, highly motivated, and Keep Me in Mind as the way downtown long shot.
I like it. Keep Me in Mind. Keep Me in Mind is one that not many people have talked about, so I'm glad you brought that one up. Look, the horse was right there with this crop last year. It has not shown it this year, but if for whatever reason his form reverses just a little bit, and I think he had some excuses last out as well, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
That's what I'm hoping for, like the commanding curve type move from a few years ago.
I like it. Keep Me in Mind, the 4-horse, currently 44-1. So if you're playing the tries and you want to roll with the Sniper,
all right, the good old 117.4.
There you go. I write like common. Everybody's favorite numbers. All right, Barry, thank you again for sharing the past 19 hours with us. And
My pleasure. Always a pleasure, Dan.
All
Hopefully we'll get you down here to Florida soon, and we'll meet up at Gulfstream.
hoping so. All right, enjoy. Good luck.
All right, nice meeting you all.
Continue. All right. Ellis.
Not my fault he left, right?
Who's that?
Not my fault he left, right?
Yeah. What did you do, Ellis? Ellis, I usually do this thing where I bounce around a little bit. Even though Chase and Justin have been in for a while, we haven't gotten to do a real deep dive with either of them. Justin did give us his selections for the Derby. And Justin, you're talking about kind of projecting how this race is going to unfold a little bit. As we get closer, what is your take on if there's one horse that's going to close at a big price? Who is that horse? And do you think it's the horse that Sniper completely dismissed, potentially Bourbonic?
Well, I guess going back to our conversation about Bourbonic, the Soup and Sandwich, I didn't think they quite have the speed to keep up. I mean, it's admirable the performance Bourbonic had last time out. He closed extremely strong. You can't underestimate his switch to blinkers. Since then he's kind of been 1-2 his whole stretch of the way. But as far as the speed goes out the gate, I kind of think the pace is going to be a little too fast for them to keep up. I don't expect anything outside of that highly motivated, Medina Spirit, Midnight Bourbon at kind of 12-1, 10-1 kind of range. I don't expect anything extremely crazy. I know Bram said this was going to be bombs all over the place. So, I mean, it could happen, but I just don't think the pace is going to be to the point where, the class of the race are going to be fatigued or not able to close strongly. So with that, I still think Essential Quality is kind of, I can't really go anywhere else if I'm objectively picking a winner. Betting wise, I might switch some things up, but I can't really look any other way.
Chase?
Well, if we're going to talk about a closer that we think could actually get up and get a piece at a huge price, it's someone I haven't heard this name thrown around a lot, but I'm actually a fan, is Bezos. Looking at the horse, this is like one of the only weekends of the year that I'll look at like thoroughgraphs and really like get in my workout reports and everything. But the horse, competitive figure on thoroughgraphs, when you look at the workout reports, getting better workout grades than, Medina Spirit, which it is disturbing when a Bal Baffert horse gets a B in his workout report on daily racing form. So that makes me kind of, off of it. But yeah, Bezos is a horse that I'm probably not going to use on top, but I absolutely love using that horse underneath and second and or third in a trifecta as one of those just kind of blow up the tote, dink into, second or third closers.
I'm with you. I mean, he's the closest thing to a deep closer, from the clouds who I've got in my top 6 or 7, where I think potentially if everything breaks right and gets clear run, he can be there. But we have spoken a ton about Bourbonic, and we've spoken about Kendrick Carmouche, who, after this incredible career, which started really on the smaller circuits, riding at Parks and riding in the Mid-Atlantic, worked his way up to New York, got his first Grade 1 win last year, came back, got his second Grade 1 win this year in the Wood Memorial with Bourbonic. We caught up with Kendrick, who's just absolutely having a blast at the Kentucky Derby, and we're so happy to see him there. Let's take a listen to what Kendrick had to say.
My name is Kendrick Carmouche. It's my first time riding in the Derby. Just getting used to the track. Just relaxing, man. Just chilling, waiting on the roses, brother. Just patience, Sit down, listen to some music, and get in your mind, get in your head about this game. That's what it's about. They can have a lot of words that can explain what's going on this week and me being here, but it just feels like bugs in my stomach, and it feels like my dream has come true. I'm here. I'm in Kentucky for the first Saturday in May, and I'm looking to make it a good one and bring the roses home to Delaware.
Love Kendrick Carmouche. Ellis, what do you think? We're talking long shots right now. We kind of work our way back, start with long shots, and then go with logicals.
Well, I always take the liberty of reducing the race down to 6 horses that I think really one of the horses is going to win. And, usually it's the favorite, unfortunately, and that's because I'm a contrarian. I'll put the horse 3rd or 4th. But of those 6, I got to start with Dynamic One if you're looking for the long shot and the closer. over Bourbonic a little bit, over Superstock a little bit. I didn't use Bourbonic. Superstock is my 6th and last. Dynamic's my 5th after King Fury scratched. I just think it's Pletcher. He's coming into the race. He's improving. He did make that move into a slow pace in the wood and just got nailed. And that, you're looking for the closer. He's the horse. I'm not really fond of him, but I'm not going to pass him up at 40-something to 1 right now. I think he is 49, 50 to 1. So that's my long shot, and everything's been out there. I haven't changed my mind all week. I mean, I've got the race, Rock Your World, Known Agenda, Essential Quality, Highly Motivated. And if one of those 4 don't win, I'm going home with Bookus. That's all there is to it. There's nothing. All my trifectas, keys, all my exactas, win bets, my Oaks Derby doubles, my Oaks Turf Woodford, the Turf Classic, Derby pick 3s. That's all I got, those 4. And that's what I'm ending up with. I can't believe Known Agenda's 11 to 1. I don't know if you talked about that before I came on, but what's up with that? Is it because everybody thinks the rail's so bad? I mean, they don't understand. It's a new gate.
Well, it scared Bram off. Bram's completely done.
He's in my bet, but I would have bet him to win, but it's the post that's got me on. I'm on Rock Your World now, but I was all over Known Agenda until the draw came, and I just
what
don't
about
like
the
it.
11, Bram? I mean, at 5 to 1, I could see that. At 11 to 1, you got to change your mind, don't you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And I'm with you, Ellis, on Dynamic One. If you like Bourbonic, you like Dynamic One.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier, I'll say it again. I think the most interesting person in this race is Todd Pletcher, and I think there's possibility that 2 of his horses end up hitting the board here. And I'm not sure which ones they are, but I like them. I like all of them for a lot of different reasons. I'd love Known Agenda if he was anywhere but the 1. And he's not out of my bet. And I agree with you, Ellis. 11 to 1 is really, really juicy for him. I agree.
Really, really juicy. Yeah. I think the race has to go through Rock Your World. I mean, there's no really knocks on Essential Quality. I'm sure you've talked about this. He does everything right. There's still a question of 10 furlongs. Tappett's an interesting sire in terms of getting 9 and 12 furlong horses. Not too many 10s. But he's done everything right. You can't knock him. I just love the fact, forgive me if you already talked about this, guys, but the fact that Rock Your World galloped out the extra 8th after staying in the Derby. No other horse galloped out almost full speed an extra 1/8 of a mile. I mean, that was just intent to get him to know what his next job was going to be. And I think, that does it. And he's held his odds have held the entire time since they opened. I mean, usually people make fun of morning line makers trying to assess what all we degenerate bettors are going to do. And, he opened up at 5 to 1. He's still sitting at 5. I mean, it was a really solid line. And he's got tactical speed. I think the pace is going to be really important here. I don't think it's going to be too fast. And the top 3 finishers could be the top 3 all the way around the track.
So, sometimes and Chase is really great at making these kinds of analogies. But sometimes you think you've totally gotten over an ex-girlfriend, but you see their photo on Facebook or on Instagram, and you're like, she was kind of cool, wasn't she? So I say this, my wife is nowhere around, and I don't mean this about me at all, right? So let's take a step back. But sometimes you see something and you're like, man, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Let's see if we can give Bram that feeling by showing him the replay of the Florida Derby.
Soup and Sandwiches come away with the lead. Nova Rags tries to cling to in second. Known Agenda is being asked to quicken, and he wants to get to the outside. Collaborates, not keeping the hole closed, so here comes Known Agenda. Greatest honors on his back after 3 quarters in 112 and 1. Known Agenda is now on to take over the lead. It's Known Agenda and Irad Ortiz Jr. now moving away from Soup and Sandwiches back to second. Then Greatest Honor and Nova Rags. 16th to go. It's Pletcher in the Derby again. It's Known Agenda for St. Elias Stable under Irad Ortiz Jr. 2.5 clear.
Think you want to get back together, Bram?
All right, fine. But I mean, I was never off him. I mean, that's the thing. I was never off him. I just don't like where he's placed. That's all. And fractions matter. This type of stuff matters. If he gets a bad trip, he can't win. So that's all it is. I love him. I love him. He was the one. I told you this on Monday, Dan. I'm like, don't talk about Known Agenda because we're going to get a good number with him. Everyone's going to talk about Essential Quality. I love Known Agenda. And then the draw came. And then all of a sudden I went, all right, I like Bourbonic too. And I hate 19, where he's coming out of now. So, you have to change your opinion. So
Bram, I got 2.5 words for you, Bram. Yeah. 2.5 words. The 2.5 words are Irad Ortiz Jr.
All right.
2.5.
You know,
I don't know what
the
you do with
brothers
the
there
junior
could go 1-2 in this thing. I mean, that wouldn't actually surprise me.
I've said all week, look, if Non-Agenda gets away 10th, I'm going to feel like the biggest idiot in the world. But if he gets away 4th or 5th, it's going to be game on between him and Rock Your World.
Well, that's what this is. Like the dice roll is you have to bet he's not going to get a terrible break and get caught and swallowed up. And at that point, he can't win. So if he gets the right break and he's in some kind of position, he is definitely going to win. And I agree with you. 11-1 is a great hedge for that. I just, history suggests it's trouble to be in there. And if it doesn't go his way out of the break, then we all lose. Right. And that's why I'm leaning way more towards Rock Your World, because I am less concerned about what's going to happen at the break.
Well, I want to point out that the horses outside of him, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, have no speed. So I can't see him not getting away 4th or 5th. You got Obesos doesn't have no speed. Sainthood, keep me in mind to mention who they are. Brooklyn Strong, Like the King. Mandaloon's got Tactical Speed. Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, Midnight Bourbon. You got 4 horses that may come over. I'm just saying I've tried to think this through, and I don't think he gets away worse than 5th. And that's the reason why I left him in. And I think right now he's just tremendous value.
I agree.
We've got a ton of comments here from viewers sharing their picks. Let us know who you like for the Kentucky Derby. We posted earlier, we're getting a lot of questions about will the race actually be shown here? We do not have the rights to show the race, but we did post a link to where you could find it. And really the short answer is you could find it on NBC or NBC Sports. So if you're looking for the actual race, we'll be here as your second screen, taking you right through the race and reacting. But if you want to watch the actual race itself, that will be on NBC nationally. So you can check it out there. Justin, I know you got to head out in a few minutes. Want to give you a last word here before you leave the stream. We appreciate the time you took with us. How are you going to actually structure these bets? Remind people who are just tuning in who you like in this race.
Well, thank you for having me, first and foremost. It's good to be back. Like I said, I'm fully vaxxed and ready to get back to the track. So that's gonna be coming up soon. But for the Derby coming up, I couldn't work around Essential Quality, so I have Essential Quality up top of my trifectas, and I'm gonna rotate underneath Highly Motivated, Midnight Bourbon, and Medina Spirit. I really think they're just gonna be up on the lead, to be honest with you, or close enough to. If anything crazy happens, I think they're most likely to benefit from it. I'm gonna do win bets on them as well, and I hope that plays out well for me. Although Ellis kind of had a really heartwarming, if his 4 horses don't come through, he loses basically everything. So, I'm kind of rooting for him, to be honest.
Ellis can afford it. That's all you need to be rooting for.
Right. But, I'm excited just to, to see the race again. And it's exciting to see people in the stands, to see us talking about it. So it's really cool. And I'm looking forward to, I'll probably be out at the Belmont, so hopefully Essential Quality to be ready for a Triple Crown possibility by then.
Oh, wow. You're thinking long term already.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. Concert tour is going to ruin it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But thanks again for having me, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, Justin. Good seeing you, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right. So the 4 of us for now, we are expecting a few more guests to jump in here momentarily. We will have more guests, a couple of whom Chase will be a lot more comfortable with. He's like, who are these 3 dudes I'm with right now? Like, these are not the people I usually work with.
Sadly, this feels like the safe space, weirdly enough.
You're going to get your friends coming soon. They're on the way. Of course, Danielle, as always, can't find the feed. She can't get on. She can't get on TVG. No one has been locked out of her TVG account more than Danielle. So, Danielle, jump in. Bram will do the race call for you so that you got something.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, Chase has gotten good experience doing it on Always Be Racing every Friday, so he can probably take us home.
20 feels overwhelming. That is for certain.
You could do it. You know all these horses. You've been dreaming about this race for weeks. You've been playing every scenario out. You know every horse.
Yeah, I mean, cue the Phil Collins. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Hold on. I'm pretty excited about this race because I don't know. For one, it's such a dynamic race because in like the 2 weeks leading up to this, the race shape has changed about 3 times. Mm-hmm. It changed whenever they said Concert Tour wasn't going to run. It changed again whenever Caddo Rivers wasn't going to run, and then he was, and then he was pulled out again late. I think you're really just going to have an amorphous pace blob up front. There's a lot of horses that want to run early, but I feel like there's a lot of horses that don't really want to run really fast early, especially at this distance. And so I can see a very contentious, tightly bunched ball of anxiety on the front. And usually the horses that win these races are the ones that believe in themselves, show a little assertiveness, and can get out in front. And to me, that's essential quality. I feel like it's boring, but I'm going to try to make value underneath.
That's fair. Boring, whatever. If he wins, he wins. Essential quality. Actually, the price drifting up a touch. I'll tell you what. This time a week ago, I would have probably assumed essential quality goes off 2-1 or lower. 5-2 right now. It's kind of drifted up a little bit. Some of that Mattress Mac money has faded, or at least has been offset by some money coming in on other horses. Your co-second choices, I would have never guessed this, that Hot Rod Charlie would be a co-second choice with Rock Your World. I think if you like Rock Your World, you got to be sitting there salivating at 5-1 now with Rock Your World. You've also got to be salivating if you like Highly Motivated. He's 11-1. I mean, 11-1. Like, this is a horse who is a neck off of Essential Quality. A neck. Essential Quality is 5-2. Highly Motivated is 11-1. I mean, what is there not to like? Known Agenda, we've talked about ad nauseum, also 11-1. We'll see if the draw is a factor. Your next horse on the board is actually one of my co-top picks. I like Highly Motivated. I like Medina Spirit. I've said it a number of times. I really do believe that quarter mile into this race, from that point through most of the race, Medina Spirit will be on the lead. I wanted to show really quickly the Bob Lewis Stakes, which was actually a few races back for Medina Spirit. But let's take a look at this one because, and keep an eye on the numbers on the top right. I'll show you how fast he was going. And then look at how Medina Spirit finished up in the Bob Lewis, holding off a couple of competitors, including Hot Rod Charlie.
Wipe the slate. On the outside, Hot Rod Charlie. Roman Centurion is starting to gather some momentum on the far outside. He's moving up to take second as the field turns for home. Medina Spirit called on now. Center of the track, Roman Centurion. Hot Rod Charlie is in between them. Roman Centurion, Hot Rod Charlie trying to run down Medina Spirit. They're inside the 8th pole. Between horses, Hot Rod Charlie. Medina Spirit, tough as nails. Roman Centurion on the outside. Roman Centurion, Medina Spirit, and Hot Rod Charlie. What a game victory.
It's a key race for me for two reasons. One, he went fast. You didn't see the beginning of the race, but he took pressure throughout early. And then he held off those two horses to his outside. Do you know Medina Spirit has never, ever been passed in the stretch by another horse? He's never been passed by another horse.
That's because he got passed in the turn.
He got passed way earlier.
And lost by a mile, Dan. So that's
he
really
got passed earlier, but let me explain why. So he gets passed by Rock Your World, and Life is Good. We all agree would have been 2-1 or less in the Kentucky Derby. Would have been the favorite.
Life is Good was a monster. Life is Good, assuming health, would have been the heavy favorite in the Kentucky Derby had he been here.
Up until the Santa Anita Derby, he was the horse, and that was the only horse that had beaten Medina Spirit. By the way, Danielle has just jumped on. She's in the green room. We're going to bring her in momentarily.
Hey.
Look at Chase light up. Look at Chase light up. I just want to finish this point to say, when it comes to who's going to be on the lead, you might look at the Santa Anita Derby and say, well, look, Rock Your World was faster. Medina Spirit did not need points in that Santa Anita Derby, did not need to be all out to win that race. He had just come off having a throat procedure done 10 days earlier. So they have been quite clear about the fact that they weren't expecting the best from him. They also weren't asking him for everything he has. And in turn, they hung 3 wide all the way around, just trying to stay in the clear and hopefully grab a placing. And he managed to stay second and hold off Dream Shake, which, by the way, after today, I'm convinced Dream Shake is just like classic hanger. Cannot believe Dream Shake didn't go by earlier. So maybe that does sort of, in some ways, does not flatter Medina Spirit. That Dream Shake did not go by. All that to say, I think this horse has got grit, determination, and I think Johnny V, who went to the lead last year with Authentic, who's the smartest rider you could possibly ask for, is going to get to the lead, and he's going to stay there.
So in your mind, Dan, you have decided that horse is going wire to wire. You've made this up in your mind that that's happening here.
What I'll say is he's going to the lead. If he gets passed by only one horse, and that's Rock Your World. I'm going to bring in Danielle Monet and Blackjack Fletcher. Chase, your family is here.
Hello.
Chase. What's up, guys?
I just lost my audio.
No, we hear you. You hear us? I thought Danielle is like the queen.
I was going to wear the same hat. Whew, whew.
Danielle has been texting me all day long. By the way, we have lost an irresponsible amount of money thanks to Flagstaff. Danielle's been texting me all day. I'm at the gym. I'm running errands. I left my keys at the gym because I was watching the race on my phone.
Danielle, do you hear us? Oh, now Chase is going out.
That's Arkansas internet. That's
6:25 p.m. We are exactly 32 minutes away from the start of the Kentucky Derby. Per usual, Danielle having technical issues. Blackjack Fletcher in with us. Blackjack, you mentioned you're losing a ton of money. For me too. This is, I got to get out. I just laid out the case for Medina Spirit, who I saw you mock yesterday and always.
I mean, you're an idiot. I don't know how else to say it. That's not going to happen. It's not listen, I hear you make this case, but I just don't think that the front of this race is going to look the same as you. Like, I think you're going to see horses going up front. There are a few of these kind of cheaper horses in here that I think a couple of them may just try to send and just hope that maybe they walk into a pace scenario that is unexpected. I don't see a scenario where Medina Spirit takes them gate to wire.
Yeah. Well, I made the case why I think he does. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Ellis, I know you got a bunch of things going on. We've kind of held you with us because we want to hear ultimately how you structure these bets. What's the structure here? How are you going to actually put the bets in here?
All right. Well, it's just take the rubber band off the wallet time, as I said. And, I've got like a few $100 left in my contest bankroll today. I'm playing on one of the ADWs, and I'm going to throw it all in there. I'm going to play 1, 14, 15, 17, No Agenda, Essential Quality, Rock Your World, Highly Motivated on top. And I'm going to throw in Dynamic One, Bourbonic, and a couple others in second. And then I'm going to take about 12 horses in third.
12 horses.
Yeah.
Why don't you just use all of them?
No, I don't like. I can tell you why I don't like the other 7, but that's okay. But mostly it's going to be a king. 1, 14, 15, 17 on top, in exactas and mostly trifectas. And again, I do want to throw in Soup and Sandwich, Bourbonic, Midnight, Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, Midnight Bourbon, Obesos. Those are the ones I'm throwing in probably in second. I think I left somebody out. That's it. Second and third. And I'm going to just try and whack those 4 on top. And I can't resist, though. I got to make a win bet on No Agenda at 11-1. It's just, I'm not going to create.
Ellis, I am so with you. I think that is incredible value. I would have thought this horse goes off 6-1.
Yep. It is unbelievable. I think it's a rail. I was just talking about the fact that the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have no early speed. So there's just no way in my mind Arad doesn't get 4th or 5th out of the gate, because they're all going to drop back, and then you got the outside horses. He's got to be in the top 5 or 6 coming out of the gate, which puts him with Medina Spirit, Rock Your World, Hot Rod Charlie, but he's going to have the rail. And from there, it's just a matter of the Florida Derby. When he comes off the rail at about the quarter pole from the 3 path, the 4 path, and he gets a path to run, if he can do what he did in the Derby, he's good. Rock Your World's a scary horse for me, and his line is held up. And he's still my top pick because the Sandy Derby was a big race, and he galloped out really strongly in preparation for this race. So that's how I'm playing, Dan. I'm going to key 1, 14, 15, 17 over a bunch in trifectas.
All right. Ellis Starr, Uber Capper. Find him at Equibase, at ABR, and anywhere you get your reliable handicapping. Ellis, good luck. We'll see you soon.
Thanks. Everybody, make some money on the race.
All righty.
We're trying.
We are trying. It's funny. As I'm looking at the odds, I'm looking at the live odds right now. As we mentioned, your favorite, predictably Essential Quality. Behind him, Hot Rod Charlie and Rock Your World. A horse who's taken a lot of money, who just made no sense to me, and he's come up earlier in this show. Midnight Bourbon, the 10 horse, is 12-1 currently. Before we talk about him, we ended up catching up with his rider, who's a Triple Crown winner. You may have heard of a guy named Mike Smith. Let's take a look at what he told us.
What was more exciting, winning my first Derby or winning the Triple Crown? I think winning your first Derby is a different kind of excitement. The Triple Crown just takes you to another level. That's the holy grail. I'm riding a horse called Midnight Bourbon, and I actually like bourbon. I like to mix it with a little bit of Coke early on, and then it might just be bourbon on the rocks. I don't want to name a brand, do you?
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Good.
He knows he ain't going to name a brand.
No free ads.
He's open for sponsorship, and he ain't going to drop any names. Exactly. All right. What do we make of this Midnight Bourbon? I mean, come on. The horse won what? The LeCompte, and then back-to-back races, finishes behind Mandaloun and Hot Rod Charlie. Why is he going to take another step forward going a mile and a quarter? Anybody?
Because I have a futures pool 1 win bet on Midnight Bourbon, and I'm really trying to will that one into existence, into winning at 59-1. So let's go Midnight Bourbon. I don't really see how it wins, but please, hello God, just one time.
Let it happen for Chase. Let it happen. Anybody want to make a case for Midnight Bourbon? Anybody else?
Nope.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm going to attempt. I'm going to attempt to make the case for Midnight Bourbon. For one, you're leaving Fairgrounds and you're leaving Joe Talamo behind. You're putting Money Mike Smith up. And
leaving him behind.
Okay. You're leaving him behind. That I will say it's a jock upgrade, and it's someone who's going to let the horse get out there and run on the front end. And if someone actually shows a ton of speed, I feel like they're going to get a little bit of a leg up. So I think that, if I were to pick a horse that, tries to really get after it and try to steal it on the front end, it's going to be Midnight Bourbon. I mean, the horse is a little lacking in the figures, of course, but if it can improve after that, that layoff since March, we'll see. I'm just trying to talk it into existence, but
he's a little lacking in figures, of course.
Yeah, figures aren't everything.
In being a good horse.
Some people say I'm 5'8". I feel 6'5". Figures aren't everything.
Danielle, do you like?
You're 6'5".
I feel like it. I
was like, are we just lying? Did I just get off? What are we talking about? You're a liar.
No, whatever. You totally thought I was 6'5". Therefore, see, my theory works. Midnight Bourbon, winner's circle.
Listen, guys, if anyone is coming out of that gate hot, you already know who it is. It's Soup and Sandwich. Bram, let me just tell you a little story, Bram. Okay, first of all, I threw on a red lip, guys, for all of y'all. Just threw it on. I have sweatpants on. It's like party at the top, business at the front, casual at the bottom. Bram, Tyler Gaffalione. Did I say his name right, guys?
Close enough. Go on.
Gaffalione.
Drop the E. Just Gaffalione.
We're best friends. I don't know if you know, but we're best friends. And he has not been responding to my hundreds of DMs today that I've been sending. I'm just kidding.
The nerve.
The nerve. It's like he's writing or something. But I'm really excited to see Soup and Sandwich, but he keeps dropping in the polls. What is this? He's 25-1. Do you guys think that is?
I thought you would go off at lower than that. To be honest,
I thought the horse would take more money. Yeah,
not one DM here. I'm so disappointed now. Not one.
Like I thought he'd
abject lie, Danielle. Abject lie.
But I'm really excited about Hot Rod Charlie. He's 5-1 right now.
Wait a minute. So you like Soup and Sandwich?
Pardon?
You like Soup and Sandwich?
I love Soup and Sandwich.
Why?
I called Soup and Sandwich. First of all, I feel very connected with him after the Florida Derby. I really thought he was going to take it there. He came out the gate so strong, ran a really great race. I think he's a little too young, but I think he has a really good future ahead. And I feel like he wasn't like I would want to go with Known Agenda with my gut, but I like Soup and Sandwich, but I don't like the combo. Well, I don't not like the combo of Tyler, but I just haven't seen him ride him yet. So I don't know about it, you know? Like, I'm not sure. I don't like this whole jockey switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
What is this, you know?
A lot of comments here. We've got actually many people watching, which is good. We appreciate everybody tuning in. The comments are mostly nice hat, Danielle. Where did you get that from?
That is a nice hat.
Thank you. This is from Cam Hats, the official milliner of the Kentucky Derby. And this was the hat that I wore at the Florida Derby. And Blackjack and I were fighting for camera space at the Florida Derby because he had his cowboy hat on.
Yeah, we couldn't get in one frame together. It was pretty tough.
This thing is so big, and let's be honest, I haven't washed my hair today, so it really works out well.
I'd like to show you all this, Dan. I did this for you today, as you know. I haven't been drinking
polished
as much.
it all?
Look at that.
Wow!
Look at that.
Wow!
Look at that.
We'll get him another bottle in a couple of weeks. At
Look
the
at
break,
that.
so,
This
in
is
Maryland.
great. And then Blackjack's hat is the hat of Stephen that we're selling for charity, correct?
Charlie, Jake Panis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, love that.
We did show a story about that again, and part of the reason why so many people are supporting Hot Rod Charlie, they're giving back in a number of different ways to melanoma research, and obviously supporting the foundation that was set up, the scholarship that was set up in Jake Panis's name. The other set of comments we're getting is, will you show the race? So every couple of minutes, we get another wave of these questions when people are coming in, as we have expressed multiple times, and we hope this isn't overly disappointing. We do not have the rights to show the race. So if you want to watch the race itself, it's on NBC. We are your second screen live stream. And so what we'll do is we'll describe what's happening. We'll react to it in real time. And then we'll, probably cry about losses or maybe celebrate, which occasionally.
I'm planning on winning, Dan. I don't know about you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you live right now, Bram? Are your tickets still live?
Oh yeah, I got nothing. I went with these guys earlier, and of course I lost. Because I just said, all right, Dan, how much money do I have to give you? And Dan's like, just give me $25, and I do. And of course, that thing died in race one. That's fine. Fine. I'm okay
How
with
did
that.
you not have Jockey's Warrior on
I'm
that?
gonna win because Rock Your World's going to win, and I'm all over this. And that is a gift that they're giving me 5-1 on him. So
you did just a win in the last race?
No, I did all sorts of things, but I'm taking a stand that I think Rock Your World's the best horse of the race, and I like him. I would have gone Known Agenda. I love Known Agenda. I do not like his post, and that's the reason why I'm not putting him on top.
Yeah, but
That's why. But I'm going to go Rock Your World. Known Agenda's in every bet I have because I love him, and I'd like to be wrong about it, but I'm going Rock Your World. I think he's the best of the class. That's why I'm going with him.
Let me ask y'all this. Has anyone ever won the Derby at the one post?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, especially back in the day, there weren't as many horses in the race, and it kind of was run like a more conventional race. But with so many horses, in recent years, they had two gates. They had one with 14 horses, and they had one with the remaining horses. So because they had the two gates, they had to push the first gate a little closer to the rail, which made it harder for the horse in one to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have one gate with 20 horses, but still, there's still going to be a bit of maneuvering that has to be done to get the Known Agenda out of there. I want to bring in our next guest. Super, super excited. And I shouldn't even call her a guest. She runs the show. She is the boss. ABR's Penelope Miller. Penelope.
What's up, team? What's going on?
Hi.
Hi. I am also rocking the cam hat.
I love it. It looks so good. That's like kind of what I want to wear at the next race. I don't want to go full on.
Nice. Well, apparently I dyed my hair to match your hat on top of
great. Love it. Love it.
I get a ton of messages all the time. I want to see more Penelope. We need Penelope back. We need to see video. So
here I am, everyone.
There we are.
Once again with the roses for the Kentucky Derby. Thankfully, we're back in May, which feels really, really good. I am all over Hot Rod Charlie too for this race, not just for the sentimental reasons. What I love about him is in his last start, the Louisiana Derby, he went 1 mile and 3/16. Now that's just a little bit shorter than the Kentucky Derby distance. And to me, his ability to pull away at that distance to keep drawing off from the field, love that so much. I'm kind of on team Known Agenda as well. Once Irad Ortiz got in the irons on that horse, they've just been coasting. That one hole, though.
Yeah. We
were literally just talking about that right before you got on. It's just a bummer, but if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's Irad, So that would be a really great story.
And Dan, I think your dad is all over helium because he knows my deep and undying love.
I love helium
winners, so I respect.
I love helium.
Why? Why do you love helium?
Because there's a few things. First,
it's inhaling helium.
The horse has done nothing wrong, right? A very nice maiden special at Woodbine win, a stakes race at Woodbine, and then the Tampa Bay Derby. But if you go back and watch that Tampa Bay Derby, and I'm not going to knock Jose Ferrer here, but I'm kind of going to knock Jose Ferrer. He stumbles out of the gate a little bit, and then Jose, instead of kind of easing him into it, starts pushing him right away. I mean, he was under a ride from the jump the entire way around the racetrack. He's 7 wide on the backstretch, 4 wide on the turn, and he still manages to hold off a fresh challenger at the end. I think that horse has done absolutely nothing wrong. I don't know that we've seen the best he has. Mark Cassie is more than a capable trainer. I just think that you're getting 36-1 on an undefeated horse that if you go back and watch that Tampa Bay Derby again, I think you'll be more impressed with him than you were coming out of it, because I think our inclination is sometimes just dismiss Tampa horses. But I don't think this horse is anywhere near 36-1. I love him.
See, I'm with you on that, but I'm sort of in it because I know the headlines are going to be amazing if he wins. Like, if he wins by a pole, helium airs in the Kentucky Derby. If he wins by a nose, it's helium and a squeaker in the Kentucky Derby. Like, come on, it's going to be so much fun.
If he finishes last, though,
digital content for ABR. So
if he finishes last, will there be like a Hindenburg analogy? Will there just be a burning dirigible somewhere?
I think his team will just be deflated.
Oh. Let me say this.
She done did it.
Blackjack. It
Right.
doesn't bother you that he didn't race again after Tampa Bay, because that's unusual. I feel like he took his points and ran and hit. That's how I feel.
It does bother me. The only reason it doesn't bother me in a big way is because Cassie said it right after the race that he wasn't going to run him again. It wasn't like he worked him and didn't like what he saw, or there was some issue. He said it that day at Tampa Bay Downs that he wasn't going to run him again. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't love a 56-day layoff coming into this, but there's not there's not some sort of a malicious, malevolent reason behind this. It's the plan he's got for the horse.
I get you, but I saw that as, I read it as like, got my points, bye.
I mean, maybe.
See you when I get there. Yeah. See you when I see you.
But I'm with you, Penelope, in that I'm the top two that I really like. I mean, Known Agenda and Hot Rod Charlie are the two for me. And Bram, I know you talk about the one hole, and I grant you, I don't like it either, but it is better than it was in years past. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit further in now than it was then. So, yeah. And I think that Danielle, you and I have had this conversation, I don't know, a dozen times. If anyone is going to work a trip out for this horse, it'll be Irad Ortiz.
Yeah, and I agree. I loved him until the post, and that's the only reason why I don't like him, and that's why I'm on Rock Your World. I like Rock Your World now, and I think you're getting a decent number on him, whatever it ends up at, 5-1, whatever that is. I love 11-1 on Known Agenda. He's going to be in every one of my bets, and if he ends up winning, I'll feel foolish for not staying with him because I loved him at the beginning of the week. I just don't like the post, and you know this, like, you get swallowed up early, ain't overcoming it. It's like it's not happening. So it's a Kentucky Derby. You get a bad trip, and guess who gets a bad trip? The one horse. That's who gets a bad trip.
Also, we always see with Irad too that he likes to hang back a little bit, and then he really likes to find that hole and come out late. And I just think with that number one post, he's not going to be able to do that. So it's almost like he has to ride this a little different because of his post position.
Yeah, I think he's got to come out a little bit quicker. Like Dan said that, there's no speed 2 through 6 or whatever it is. I think he's got to get out of the blocks quick here and establish his position early. Because like you said, Bram, if this horse takes a bad step out of the gate, race is over for him.
Yeah, I think if he gets out, the whole thing is you're rolling the dice. He gets out and has position, I love him. He doesn't, you're done, right? You're done with him. Yeah. So that's the problem. I still listen. I love the Pletcher horses here. I think one or two of them are going to hit the board. Could be one of them. I think we don't know what the ceiling is on Sainthood. I liked Bourbonic until he got the post he got. And if you like Bourbonic, you like Dynamic One too. So I think Pletcher's going to steal the show here today.
Yeah, he does the way of doing that. I would not put it okay, can I just throw something really weird out there? Does anyone want to get weird for a second?
Love it. Get weird.
Okay.
Of course, I'll chant it. Let's get weird.
All right, let's get weird. So he doesn't have any sophomore form to speak of, but I did notice that number 4, Keep Me in Mind, did put in the fastest workout of the day over Churchill Downs on April 23rd. He was first of 108 workers going half a mile that day. He's got a really, really quick turn of foot, and speed is holding on this racetrack. He's 50 to 1 on the morning line. I don't see what he is right now, but is it worth a $2 bet? Maybe.
I mean, anything's worth $2. You can't even get a Starbucks coffee for $2.
But this is the problem with gambling. And Danny, I know you're in the same boat. I hear that, and my first thought is, if it's worth 2, it's worth 10, right? If it's worth 10, well, it's probably worth 20.
Or 100.
It's crazy.
It's always right. It's like if I walk out of the with $38 on a long shot, I'm not happy. I'm angry.
Yeah.
More.
We won so big at the Florida Derby that now today, you know what? I'm chalking it up as I'm not physically there. So now I'm so superstitious that I'm like, well, I'm still undefeated at the track.
And you know what? Depending on the outcome of this race, we're likely to have 5 out of 6 in the pick 6.
Right. It's just this one race. But it was interesting. Chase and I were talking about kind of how you have your smart picks and then your maybe emotional picks, whatever you're tied to, my brain and my heart picks. And so for this race, there's just so many amazing horses. There's not really a clear winner that I have, my heart picks were actually Hot Rod Charlie now is in both of my picks, my brain and my heart.
Yeah.
But, my soup and sandwich, only because I stuck my tongue out there right after the Florida Derby and put that out. Mark Cassie walked straight up to me and I was like, I got him for the Derby. And now I'm like, oh, do I really? But yeah, so it's interesting how you have 2 lists. When my friends have been coming up to me today, I'm like, well, this is what I'm going with, but this is also my more solid bet, which is, Known Agenda. I actually have Rock Your World up there as well, Bram, for my my brain picks.
Yeah, it's funny too, because watching this coverage that they've had all day on NBC, I hate it because it makes me want to bet on multiple more other horses, because I'm like, oh, the story about the Asmussens with Superstock, and Kendrick Carmouche, I want this guy to win. It's I wind up betting on 4 other horses because of personal interest stories.
For sure.
Speaking of the Superstock story, we actually have, and I didn't know we were going to be able to squeeze this video in, but since we've got 10 minutes, let's show the video of Keith Asmussen, who's the son of trainer of Superstock, Steve Asmussen.
Hello, I'm Keith Asmussen, son of trainer Steve Asmussen. We have Superstock in the Derby. My grandfather's half owner with Irv Woolsey. My father trains. I actually got the chance to ride Superstock and break his maiden at Lone Star in the sales fraternity. Big fan of the horse, obviously, but you could say I'm very biased. What did it mean if Superstock won the Derby? Family's already cloud 9 that he got the chance to win the Arkansas Derby. It means a lot for my family as a whole. I'm extremely thankful I got to be a part of it. It's so hard to even put into words what it means for this horse to be in the Derby. My grandfather in the past has had a lot of horses that he had sold that went on to be Grade 1 winners, but this is his first Grade 1 winner. Similar to a lot of the other connections, I feel very blessed to be here, and we're Derby dreaming.
Yeah, I can't watch
a family of winners.
Yeah, and I love someone
with
that
salon quality hair.
Good for you guys.
I really love someone that laughs at his own jokes, and he was just cracking himself up. So okay,
they did a special on the whole family earlier, and it's Steve Asmussen, this kind of big burly Laredo, Texas guy, and he's tearing up talking about how he's never won a Kentucky Derby. He's 0 for 21, and what it would mean to win one with a horse his father owns and his son rode. It's I can't watch this anymore.
Or with Midnight Bourbon.
I'm going to wind up with a bet on every horse in the field.
I just dropped in the comments, still getting a question about when does the Derby start? Where can we watch? I just dropped our guide, where to watch and listen, 6:57 Eastern time. And I've also dropped in your last second study guide for the Kentucky Derby. It's our cheat sheet. Click the cheat sheet.
It's on NBC, okay? It's on NBC. We're not NBC. Maybe one day we will be. We're not today, okay? That's what it is.
Being sarcastic, you can actually watch it on Hulu or the Peacock app. Like, we're your second screen experience, and we're so glad you're here, Bram.
That's right. We're glad you're here. You can watch us both at the same time. Second screen experience. That's what we're doing live. Join us. We crack wise, and we're going to watch the race, but the race is on NBC. They paid $8 trillion for it, okay?
Well,
That's
I'm in Blackjack's Naira Bets account right now, and I'm watching it there.
Are you betting or are you just watching?
Oh, I can bet with Blackjack's money. 'Cause I'm
Oh
in
God,
it.
don't say that. She can.
Oh my gosh, she's
That
so
accounts are all
trusting
linked.
with me.
So
She's so
next year, I
trusting.
think we can get the rights to it. We just have to execute a hostile takeover of Yum Brands, and I think that we will get it.
Oh, okay.
Woodford Reserve.
Dan, you start through a KFC. I think that's probably going to be the best angle of attack.
Well, when they see that we've got like 3 million viewers without showing the race,
right.
clearly they would want us to show the race, right?
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
2022, Dan. It's going to be our year, buddy. 2022.
We do have
All
a
right,
lot of
Danielle, who are you picking? Who you got?
Oh God, I was just getting FOMO. I'm just like, I hate missing out on things.
I know.
Not being there. Oh gosh. Well, Blackjack, are you taking Known Agenda? I'll take Soup and Sandwich. I gotta, right? I hate his position too.
Ooh, you're going to hit it
Yeah,
big. That
I
comes
hope-
through.
I hope somewhere along the way, and I posted this in the comments yesterday during the show, you got to have just a straight just an exacta box, Soup and Sandwich, Known Agenda, $5 exacta box.
Right.
If it comes out, you're going to hit for like $3,000. If you don't hit it, you're going to have remorse for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You got to bet that exacta. And so since you're in Blackjack's account, pull in $5 box. That's the steps, and then put the 2 horses. You got to bet it. Blackjack, you're cool with this, right?
It's great, right?
For that, sure. As long as she knows as soon as that bet hits, I'm pulling the money out.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Hot Rod Charlie because I would love that. And like right now, the bets are great. So
That's all 3 of them. Go Hot Rod Charlie, Known Agenda, Soup and Sandwich. Go ahead.
I will say
$5.
it is very interesting when you are in this business, and I'm very new to this area. How many people today have been asking me how to bet, how to gamble, and then they message me at like 3:30 talking about like on the West Coast, can I put the bet in? I go, you're like 2 hours late. Where have you been? Like, what?
Where you been?
And they're like, well, the race doesn't start till 6:30. I'm like, you're just gonna like get a win for that's not how you make money. And so I am shocked. Poor Chase and Blackjack and Dan have had to teach me how to gamble. But now I'm a degenerate and I just like can't, do anything.
So we taught her right. That's how we That's how we did it.
It's better on the other side, Danielle. It just is.
I swear to y'all, I woke up at 7:30 this morning. Like, I got to message Chase. I got to get his cheat sheet. Like, what
And it
has he
happens.
gone in? Yeah, I waited
Promptly.
till 9:30 to message him. But yeah, it's fun, and I just want to put it all into crypto, so I really want to win. That's all I'm thinking about.
See, but that's the difference between an intelligent person and me, because my thought process is take the crypto money, put it on the 6 horse.
No, then you have to pay capital gains tax, and no one's trying to pay 47 cents, so you got to keep it in there.
Blackjack will pay the taxes.
What is this? Rock your world to the moon, to the moon.
Yeah.
Rock your world.
Oh, see, we got to combine too. I've actually been in my group chat today for crypto, telling them all who to bet because they're all gamblers, obviously. But
everyone,
crypto. You think what we're doing is gambling? Crypto. Oh, you people are crazy. You people are crazy.
Well, I can give you safe ways to invest your money through them, and also crazy ways. But
I'll be DMing you about that in 15 minutes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get to that, we're only 4 minutes until the Kentucky Derby. I do want to let you know about some pretty dramatic odds changes that I'm seeing on the odds board right now.
Okay.
Considering how much money in the pool, it's kind of strange to see these sorts of fluctuations this late. Now, not totally crazy, but a little odd. Known Agenda has suddenly flashed down to 9-1.
Oh.
So no more 11-1.
Well, I mean, look, it's worth that. I still think at 9-1 you're getting crazy value on him, really. I mean, honestly.
Let me give you a couple of other things. Your second choice is now a clear-cut second choice. It's no longer Hot Rod Charlie. It's Rock Your World.
Touchdown.
And 9-2, yeah.
The third thing I want to bring up is that Essential Quality, your favorite, who's been 8-5, 2-1, is now 3-1. So Essential
That's
Quality.
value.
That is value. Not shocked.
Yeah, that makes him a little bit. I wouldn't want to leave him out of an exotic. I wouldn't. Like if I were betting an exacta or a try or a super.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, it's worth putting him in there. He is a very good horse, and Brad Cox wants this race.
So, who do you got? Who are you taking? Who do you got?
If I were going to make a try or a exacta box, I think I would do 9 Hot Rod Charlie, 1 Known Agenda, and Essential Quality. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to leave him out. Put the 14 in there, box it, call it a day.
I feel like you're all too close to the situation to see what's happening here, and that is that you monsters have all just mushed Known Agenda so far out of the winner's circle. That I keep hearing Known Agenda's name popping up. That horse is just as cosmically mush as it gets.
Chase, are you still taking Midnight Bourbon?
I am going to take Midnight Bourbon underneath. What I'm going to do is I'm going to key Essential Quality on top. So I'm going to play Essential Quality keyed on top in a trifecta with Bezos, Midnight Bourbon, and Rock Your World in second. And then I'm going to say all for brevity's sake instead of naming 15 numbers for third place. So, and it's probably smarter to press the all button in that case, because if you're going to have 15, you don't have an opinion, man. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, with the 14 over 6-10-15 over all, and then I will probably play like a 14 over 6-10-15 exacta.
Before we move on and we talk about who else we like as the horses are getting closer to the gate here, I did get a message here from Mark DiLorenzo, who keeps track of these things, and part of the reason why Essential Quality's price might be a little higher right now, there is a basically on the lower third of the odds line, there's a note that says that Essential Quality has glue-on fronts. So it's a glued-on shoe, which sometimes could not, might not be that great. But and that's an update that's not in the program. That's something that they're just announcing in the bottom line sort of update of different changes that are happeing. So
do you think that
my hair extensions are glue in? So
moving his money?
Oh my gosh! Did you just put my mother? Did you just put my mother on the screen?
Yeah.
She said Midnight Bourbon. My mom's never watched a horse race in her life. What makes her say that? Chase, you and my mom. There we are.
Yeah.
What a supporter. She's probably just drinking bourbon. That's why she put him. I hope she's not watching this live.
She's actually telling you that she needs more bourbon before midnight.
Yeah. She's like, honey, bring home the bourbon. Come on. Okay, here's the real question before this race goes. I've been thinking about this all day, and I haven't been able to get my live stream in. Has anyone gotten eyes on Todd Pletcher's hair?
Looking good today.
Yeah? Great.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, it just glistens, doesn't it?
He's looking good. He's ready to have his picture taken. While we have thousands literally watching right now, Danielle, Blackjack, Chase, why don't you tell people about where they can watch you every week?
Every Friday, always be racing 3 p.m. Eastern. We're here doing this same nonsense every week at racetracks all over North America. Usually, Chase and I are usually mildly intoxicated to where Bram is right now, depending on how the show goes.
It's a spectrum.
But yeah, every Friday, Danielle, Chase, and I are out here doing this thing on Always Be Racing.
It's great, and we'll do some like beginners things too, where we teach some of my fans how to bet and gamble too, because I think my following's a little newer to horse racing, but it's been fun. I
mean, and we live the life. We always be racing. Like that's how we do it.
Usually Chase's Wi-Fi goes in and out.
When we don't be shopping.
They are going into the gate. Bram, you want to give us the play-by-play, or you want me to do it, or what do you think?
Well, you are ahead of me because I think I'm behind you. So it's all you, Dan. Congratulations. You get to call the Kentucky Derby for us.
I'm going to do my best. I've got 2 screens up here. I'm going to try to see if I could. All right, you guys still hear me and see me okay?
Yes.
All right, so I've got 2 screens up. I'm going to try to give you the best vantage point I can. They're all in the gate for the Kentucky Derby.
Oh my gosh, they're off.
And they're off.
Oh, we got a big lag out.
Way ahead of me.
Yeah, you're way ahead. I haven't looked at number 20 yet.
Oh, you're way
Come on, Irad. That's good position for. Oh, sorry.
Is this going to be like spoilers or what?
Oh, it's
Medina,
going to be spoilers.
If you want, I don't have to do it. Medina Spirit.
No, do it.
What do you know? Is on the lead, but is now taking some token pressure to his outside from Helium and from Soup and Sandwich. Now, Soup and Sandwich is stalking Medina Spirit in second. So Johnny V came out a little bit into Helium's path, which kind of slowed his momentum and shuffled him back. So Soup and Sandwich is now second.
I'm telling y'all, Soup and Sandwich has that momentum early. Look at him.
Helium
They still haven't broken from the gate for me.
Mandaloun is fourth. Behind them, you've got Hot Rod Charlie, and then Essential Quality, followed by Sainthood, Highly Motivated. I'm not going to be able to go through the whole field, but Superstock and
Rock Your World.
Known Agenda. I read that hole right now. Look at Irad.
Is nowhere close. Okay, update. Medina Spirit just went a half in 46-3, which is pretty fast, but he doesn't have a horse at his throat latch.
No.
Sandwich is just stalking right now. Just stalking. Medina Spirit trying to kick clear, open up some ground. Mandaloun looks great. Mandaloun saving ground, now making his move toward Medina Spirit. It's Mandaloun,
wide open.
Medina Spirit 1-2. Looks like Medina Spirit might be backing out of it. Essential Quality with a 3-wide move. Medina Spirit still game. Hanging in at the rail. Mandaloun to his outside. Hot Rod Charlie 3-wide.
Come on.
3-wide Essential Quality. Mandaloun lead at 26-1. Head-to-head with Medina Spirit, who fights back. Medina Spirit on the lead. Mandaloun, Medina Spirit, Mandaloun, Medina Spirit wins the Kentucky Derby.
Just call it the Baffert Derby.
I mean,
Medina Spirit Mandaloun.
Come on.
Irad is racing.
Really?
Well, at least I know I don't have to watch the second half.
Medina Spirit would get to the lead and no one listened to me.
I hate you because I said it after you gave Country House 2 years ago.
I hit these races every time. I always hit big races. Medina Spirit, why don't you ever listen to me?
Hear it, huh?
Well, listen, I used him in my pick 4.
I am having the most vivid flashback to last year's Derby live stream when none of us said Bob was going to win out loud.
But I learned my lesson.
Dan reported like it was no one's business.
You gotta be kidding me.
Back in 1984, I said Bob Baffert would win.
So look at them right here out of the gate. It was really interesting because Irad had decent positioning here, and then
who got up for the back half of this? Who got third and fourth?
I think Hot Rod Charlie and someone else.
Let me take another look here. Third.
Hot Rod Charlie.
Third is between Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality. Okay. So, man, like
a bad day for the mattress man.
Something happened to Soup and Sandwich in that that second stretch because he just went flying back.
Yeah, I think he had enough.
It like crazy, like all the way back. Same with
Irad. Going to pay a lot of money. Medina Spirit went off at 12-1. Mandaloun 26-1. I did a saver exacta Medina Spirit overall, so I got that, but just barely. And then the third, Hot Rod Charlie 5-1. You've got Essential Quality fourth off the board. You've got Rock Your World off the board. I didn't see where Rock Your World's finished. Now, Medina Spirit, I will say, into the first turn, he came out a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw that, into Helium.
Yeah.
Soup and Sandwich did back out of it, way out of it. Helium hung in pretty well.
Helium. I mean, Soup and Sandwich got pulled up, no?
Yep.
Something happened.
And your sort of deep closer who actually ran on well at the end was Obesos, finished 5th.
Yeah, he was flying.
Medina. So you actually picked him, Dan?
That was my pick.
Dan always does this. Dan picked Country House 2 years ago at 64-1.
But no one listened to me.
Dan picked Known Agenda for our pick 6 at the Florida Derby.
Dan was the only reason Known Agenda was in that pick 6.
Yeah.
Look,
Dan.
All right, we can tamp it down a little bit.
I need to see a replay right here.
How was my race call? I felt really excited about that.
Your race call was excellent.
Really good job. I mean, I don't know if Larry needs to be worried, but you.
No, but there's an opening in Tampa.
I got a little excited at the end because it was my horse. I probably would have been sick, and I wanted to use Chase's patented dropped anchor call.
Sandwich dropped the anchor.
Dropped anchor. Sandwich dropped anchor. I'm gonna have to text Tyler and just see what's happening.
John Velasquez, Greg Charkoudian, our chief videographer who's also producing the show, just texted me to point out Johnny won the Kentucky Oaks and the Derby. You don't see that every day. Back to back, Oaks and Derby.
Yeah, and he won the Derby last year.
Dan, who was the jockey on Medina Spirit?
John Velasquez.
John Velasquez.
And guess who John Velasquez rode in the Florida Derby, Danielle?
Soup and Sandwich. That's who I signed up for, guys. That's the combo that I told Mark Cassie afterwards that I wanted. So I'm a little salty. But you know.
Unofficial order of finish just posted unofficial, so they've got to make it official. Medina Spirit first, Mandaloun, Hot Rod Charlie, Essential Quality, and Obesos. Yeah, I mean, look, let's sort of recap here. I can tell you the one horse I certainly didn't have is Mandaloun. I had completely eliminated that horse. I was like, there's no way this horse hits the board, finishes last. Start at the top, Bram. Thoughts?
So I'm shocked. I mean, that horse got blown out twice, right? And if you're going to sit there and go, well, Dan, you did. But like, if you're going to sit there and go, because of that, I think he's the favorite of the Kentucky Derby. I don't know how you come around to that, but Dan did. So you are the soothsayer of the group, and congratulations on that. As predicted, there had to be somebody that was going to be 20-1 that was going to be hanging around there because it was that kind of year with that kind of field. I did not have Mandaloun to be the one to do it, but like I assumed that somebody would. Thought Hot Rod Charlie ran a great race, great race, and obviously sentimentally for all of us, we were hoping that he would get there, and so that was really great to see that happen. I am not surprised by Essential Quality only because I just don't think he was that much better than everybody else. I don't think there was a heavy favorite in this race, and so 19 horses in a field for him to not finish close to the top, I don't think is like an indictment of him. I think it's just that was this kind of year. I'm a little surprised by Rock Your World. Off of what he did at Santa Anita, I thought he might be best in class. He was never even close. And unfortunately for Known Agenda, being on the rail is tough. It's just really, it's a tough spot to be. It's a terrible draw. And I loved him going into this thing, but I thought he was gone. But man, oh man, Bob Baffert, God, this one's a rabbit out of a hat to me. I mean, of all the other ones that he's had, there have been plenty of times where you could sit there and go, all right, like he either had the best horse or one of the best horses, or I could see that. Except for Dan, like this is one of those where you go, I'm a little surprised, but man, Bob Baffert, man, he's the Belichick of this sport. He knows what he's doing.
That's true.
He played it down all week. He was at the trainers' dinner earlier this week, and he was accepting his trophy for Authentic last year, and he was telling the other trainers, oh, next year, one of you is going to be standing up here holding this trophy. He was playing it down all week long.
I hate you so much.
He knew he had the fastest horse in the race, and they could not go to the lead. Now, if you're Blackjack, if your team Rock Your World, what are you thinking about your decision to put Joel Rosario up? The horse ends up 12th into the first turn.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I want to go back and watch this a few times just to see what happened, but that horse was never a factor in this race whatsoever. Like, I mean, just wasn't anywhere to be found. I don't know whether it was Joel. I don't know whether it was he got a bad trip. I don't know. But listen, this is like I had a moment in my gambling career when I realized like just stop betting against Tom Brady, right? Like just stop doing it. Like you don't have to bet the game, but don't bet against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I will never bet against Bob Baffert in a Kentucky Derby ever again. As long as he is training horses and puts one in the field, they will be on the ticket. That's it. Lesson learned.
When the Natalie Baffert owned horse is winning a race earlier on the card today, we all should have just battened down the hatches and known that Hurricane Bob was coming our way. When he gets his wife's pet horse into the winner's circle, Bob came to play.
I want to see it back again. It was like so fast, I can't even process it.
I mean, essential quality. I mean, that's what people talked about. Finishing fourth. I mean, people talked about the fact that this horse hadn't taken that next step this year. Kind of was just the same horse he's been for a while now. And if he was the best horse, he had every shot to get up and win there. Danielle, I don't know exactly where. I know where Soup and Sandwich finished in the back, but Known Agenda, I didn't see his.
Yeah, but the thing is, coming out of the gate, Known Agenda, he had a good position for a good little bit. Like around the first turn, he was in fifth, and he had a nice little hole. And then, again, what do you say? Dropped anchor. Like Chase would say, just dropped anchor out of nowhere.
That one wasn't just dropped anchor. He was also smothered in love and couldn't overcome the extra weight from being mushed by everybody.
Yeah, so I will say I got excited him coming out of the gate because I thought he did do pretty decent with positioning, but I don't know, him, Soup and Sandwich, we got to rewatch it. But Hot Rod Charlie, super excited about him going into Preakness, and he just ran a great race.
Good. Penelope, takeaways.
I am a fool who did not pick Bob Baffert in the Derby. That's my key takeaway. But I did notice a lot of comments are asking for, the order of finish. So winner, obviously, Medina Spirit for Bob Baffert, John Velasquez in the Iron. Huge race for the horse I have always called Mandaloon, but Dan calls Mandaloun.
That's what I heard.
I think it's Mandaloon.
No, Matt Bernier said he checked on it and he heard Mandaloon. That's why I went with Mandaloon. I mean, it might be Mandaloun, but he said.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The Argonne Stone, 7. It was a 7. Hot Rod Charlie was 3rd, who I picked. Sorry. And then Obesos was 4th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Essential Quality, then Obesos.
Oh, my bad. Essential Quality, and then Obesos 5th. So, of all of the horses I picked, one of them finished 3rd. It's not great.
I'm right there with you, Penelope.
Right? I studied. There was a lot of writing on this form. But, that's the Derby. It's always the one you don't see coming. But, I'm lesson learned.
Yeah.
Bob offers a horse in the Derby.
Yeah.
That horse goes on my ticket from here on out. Because like I said, I was sitting here last September wearing a hat in a house and bemoaning the fact that I didn't pick a Bob Baffert horse in the Derby. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice. It's horse racing.
I'm shocked by how shocked I felt that Medina Spirit won. That shouldn't have been surprising. That shouldn't have been surprising at all. And I said to myself earlier in the week, it's it didn't really make sense with Authentic. I mean, he could do it again. And then you just completely toss that out for some reason. I don't think that your Preakness winner was in that race. I think it's going to depend with some of the horses that decided to skip.
With his concert tour.
Yeah, it's going to be Concert Tour, maybe even Caddo River.
Caddo River. Well, that's the thing. If Caddo River was in that race, Medina Spirit probably doesn't get away to that loose lead.
Yeah, completely different. But I don't think Caddo River would have held on like Medina Spirit just did, though.
Right. But it would have compromised Medina Spirit. It would have opened it up.
Yeah, that would have been pretty dope for me. I'll tell you that. A lot less dope for Dan.
Did you watch the last 2 races he was in? I mean, how are we not surprised that he won?
Because of the name next to his. That's
I guess.
And we didn't have Medina Spirit in our pick 6, right, Blackjack? Dang.
Threw that thing out.
Let me read your payouts here. I'm not going to lie, a little disappointed in this exacted payout. For $2, came back only 503.
Wow.
Not thrilled by that.
What were the end odds? We had 26-1 came in second. What was Medina Spirit? What did he go off at?
12-1.
12 and 26, only 500. Yeah, I agree.
Pretty low. The trifecta, which I actually didn't hit because I didn't use Mandaloun, $848 for 50 cents. Not terrible. Your dollar superfecta, if you had Medina, Mandaloun, Hot Rod, and Essential Quality for $1. You got back $9,456.
The Essential Quality part's a killer on that. That is
It
a
is.
killer.
Yeah, if that's Obesos, that's probably $150,000.
Correct. Like that's a killer that Essential Quality hit that one.
Wait, for which one?
The super.
Super. Top 4 finishers.
Yeah.
Now, your 20-cent pick six, which none of us hit, 6 of 6 for 20 cents. This was a little light as well. 1,363.
That's seriously?
That's all.
That's
all.
crazy.
Dollars?
That's dollars. I think that's US. Yeah. It might be Canadian, which might mean it's only like 340.
That would be if I hit that, I would be very angry at that.
Wait, so why did the super
be angry?
Yeah, why is the superfecta 9,000 and then that's so much less? Isn't it harder to have a pick six?
I think what that reflects is probably in the superfecta, it was probably a lot harder to put Mandaloun in your super, especially in finishing second, than it was to just throw Medina Spirit onto your pick six ticket.
Yeah.
So that's what I would think. Now the pick five came back okay. 5 of 5. Ending in this race paid $2,974. Not terrible.
No, but it definitely makes me realize Dan and Blackjack told me after we hit the pick six at Florida, at the Florida Derby, they were like, "You're spoiled. You have no idea what we just did. We just got such a big jackpot." And I just thought it was a regular Saturday at the track. I was like, "Oh, we're walking out of here with $3,300. This is just great." And now hearing these numbers, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we really did the damn thing that night."
Wait, breaking news. In classic Wolf of Oaklawn fashion, Chase Sessom has just dropped something in the private chat. Chase, the floor is yours.
Okay, so this is the I can't what they call it, the Oaklawn Special, or just the Oaklawn Stakes now. This is actually a win and you're in to the Preakness that started last year.
Wait. Let the people know that we're actually now going to bet on a race at Oaklawn. Let them know that.
Sorry. Oh, at Oaklawn Park, the Oaklawn Stakes, race 11. This is a win and you're in for the Preakness. It's a 9 furlong race, and I've got a juicy price with a horse named Causeway Jones at 13-1. That I kind of feel like might, you got early speed drawn inwardly towards the rail, might get brave out on the front end. Looks like some horses have been carrying on the front end at Oaklawn today. I love the price.
I'm not going to lie.
All right, how much we put on? I'll put
Who's my buddies?
All right, Chase, I'll Venmo you. How much you want? What do you want? Put me on.
Put you on? I feel like a rap star when people ask me to put them on.
Yeah, can you be my bookie? It's illegal.
I wish you hadn't said that, live on the internet in front of a bunch of people, but we'll talk about that later.
All right. I know for a fact that Bram has bigger and better things to do, including a birthday party.
Oh, you have a live, Bram? You have a live?
I got a Derby daughter who was born on Derby Day 12 years ago. And her name is Alexandra, and that year, Rachel Alexandra won the Preakness. So Alex is turning 12 tomorrow, but her birthday party is happening today, so I am going to bow out.
Of course.
And say, Dan Tordjman, you are once again the master. And Danielle, the T's of DMs, and I don't have any.
I know. I'm gonna congratulate Tyler, see what he says. I read too. I read just likes my
he does.
All right, we're gonna actually wrap up this whole thing. Thank you for tuning in and joining in on Kentucky Derby Live with America's Best Racing. Thank you to all the guests who joined us earlier, everyone on right now. If you're really a degenerate, Causeway Jones at Oaklawn coming up. That's your bet here in the next few minutes. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next time. In fact, I think the video that we're closing with will let you know exactly when's the next time we'll see you. Have a good night.